We are going live.
What a baseball weekend.
Well, one Florida team took 3 out of 4.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. And the Gators just dropped another run.
Well, it's about time their bats broke out, but they were, 5 outs away in game 1? Something like that?
Saw the highlights of game 1. Didn't watch a pitch.
No, I didn't. Well, I haven't watched a single pitch. I'll be all in tonight. It's perfect.
7 o'clock night?
Yeah.
It was funny. I had it on yesterday. We played Monopoly. We were just playing, board games. And
Yep.
both my wife was like, "Isn't there some sort of like uncle rule in this game? Can we?"
If it wasn't the College World Series, yes. There's a 10-run rule. Are you talking Fox Television, KW? Because I haven't been able to find 2 people to support me on this in years. I did see the practical joke that Ortiz pulled on Jeter. That was funny. This weekend in London was Jeter's Fox debut.
Gotcha.
And Ortiz gave him a gift. And he opened it up on set, and it was a Jeter Red Sox jersey. And Jeter literally just threw it away, discarded it, backhanded it, threw it away, wiped the table like, hope it didn't, ruin my space. Oh, the Philly guy, Anthony Gargano. KW, most people don't like it. Pop and Jake, it's funny when you don't take a lot of time off, which we don't. Mark, I don't know how you feel, but even one day, it's a big difference.
Yeah, this weekend flew by for me.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Yeah, no, it's funny. Friday night, right before I go to bed, I'm checking scores. And I every time I went to the thing, I looked at Saturday. Because, I had the day off. So I figured it had to be Saturday. So I'm looking at Saturday. I'm like, where the hell are the scores?
15 seconds.
You're listening to Miller and Moulton, exclusively on the Florida Sports Network. And now, here's Mark Miller and David Moulton.
Top of the morning to you, as this is the final Monday of June. Hope you had a great weekend. How the heck are you? Miller and Moulton here on the Florida Sports Network, floridasportsnetwork.com. Thanks so much for starting your week off with us. Mark, how was your long weekend?
Mine was good. Did a lot. Flew by. It really did. Had a terrific weekend, but this morning I got up and I'm like, damn, it's already here. It's over.
Yeah, the extra day off since we took Friday off, I have to admit, it felt like a vacation for me. I mean, it really did. I was a day off the whole weekend.
Well, I was kind of on call. My wife's birthday is today. She made the declaration about Thursday of last week that it was her birthday weekend.
Oh, it went from a birthday to a birthday weekend.
I went from a birthday week down to a birthday weekend. So I feel like we're winning in this one.
Okay.
So, the daughter and I were on duty to make sure the wife had everything she wanted and needed throughout the weekend. So there was extra pressure applied.
Can I ask a question? And how is that different?
We have to listen more.
Because you're a pretty good husband. All right. I mean, you are. I mean, you're great with your daughter. Okay. You're very attentive of your wife's needs. She works more than you do these days. She is earning more than you right now. Okay. So you are very much, that, right now, this is the buttered bread. Okay. I got to make sure if she wants to be toasted, if she wants peanut butter on the bread, I mean, whatever, I got to make sure she's got jelly. I got to make sure she's got it.
And then some. That's all I'm saying. It was making sure that all the condiments were in the right order at the right time, if you know what I mean.
Good job. Condiments are always important, Mark. Always. So, all right, good to know. So you doing okay? Is it over? Is this it?
Today's the day. Today's the actual birthday. So we will have, she took the day off today. So when the show ends, it will be more pampering.
Okay. I mean, just how many times can you rub her feet?
4 days in a row.
I mean, you already got the pool on the premises. It's been warm lately, although the rainwater kind of cools it off, but still, I mean, I would think you either cooked for her or took her out to wherever it is she wanted to go.
Cooked for her, taking her out tonight.
Okay.
So yes, it is all, I mean, the plans all come together.
Well, wait a minute. How are you two going to, does she realize that you're going to have to go somewhere where you could watch the Florida LSU game?
David, I don't know if you're aware, but she's nearly 50. I'm over 50.
Well, this is in your wheelhouse then.
We dine like we were in our 70s because of the show. We'll be back before first pitch. Don't kid yourself.
I didn't realize you guys had become early birders.
We're pretty damn close.
Okay. Oh, it's good to know. That transition happened recently then.
Especially during the week with the daughter, because we'll bring the daughter with us. We can still, we can go crazy on the weekend and do like a 7:15 reservation. Wow. Nuts. But during the week, we can actually make the early birds if we want to.
So, well, happy birthday to your lovely wife. All right. That's awesome. So this is a big one though, right?
No,
it's not a magic number.
Not a magic number.
Oh, okay.
One away from it.
Oh, all right. Well, then I'm sorry. I don't want to advance the cause. My bad. In fact, this one will get celebrated probably for 10 years.
Believe it or not, because I guess just a little, my wife lost her dad at a young age. He passed when he was 51. 51's the big birthday for my wife. 50 means nothing to her. Just getting to 51 is the big one.
Oh, okay.
Because of her dad.
Gotcha.
So that's the one she wants the trip. She, like 50 is no big deal. 51, we have to do something special for.
Gotcha. All right. It's good to know. All right. 2 years from now then. Great.
Yeah, I've got time.
Right. For more pampering.
Need to
More
start
rubbing.
saving up.
More rubbing of the feet, more condiments.
That's it.
So there were 15 of us, Mark. 15 of us sharing a house. 15 of us, 6 couples, a mother-in-law, and then a 1-year-old and a 2-year-old. So, 13 and 2 kids. That was the family vacay.
Wow.
Right. Yep.
And you made it.
Oh,
You
yeah.
appeared to be okay.
Yeah, sure. Absolutely. But it's funny you mentioned early bird, because on Saturday, because we have all different age groups. We've got the matriarch, then you've got the 2 couples that are in their 50s, and then you've got the 4 couples that are all in their mid to late 20s. Okay. Or, well, 3 couples mid to late 20s, and then the 1 couple that's in their early 20s. They're still finishing up college. So, okay, it's time to do dinner. Well, we eat at very different times here. So at 4:15, I'm placing the order, for the first dinner round. Who's in the 5 to 5:30 dinner window? Raise your hand. And then by the time I come back with all that food and what have you, and as we're eating, it's like, okay, all of you in the 7:15 dinner window, you figure out what it is you want, where you want it from, and all that. We'll pay for the 5 o'clock round. Brother-in-law over there, you pay for the 7 o'clock round. That's how this works. All right. So yes. So I understand the whole when you're doing dinner and, all right, who's going early bird? It's okay. We won't hold it against you. So.
It's a lot of people in one house.
It is 10 bedrooms.
I don't care how big the house is. 10
bedrooms, 2 floors. And so you've got the 6 couples. So there's 6 bedrooms. Each kid has a bedroom. So there's 8. Mother-in-law has a bedroom. That's 9. So 9 of the 10 bedrooms were in use. Right. That's how it worked. Mm-hmm. This is how stupid we all are. And I mean stupid. So the place was cold. And Mark, there are a lot of college-educated people in that house. And by a lot, I mean 13 adults, 13 college-educated people. You would think that one of us, the place came with a handbook, a binder and everything, telling us the rules of the house, okay, what you need to do to operate it. The TV's not cable, it's Roku. Ooh, boy, that caused problems, especially for the mother-in-law. She could only get 2 channels the whole weekend. I have no idea.
So she get Judge Judy. She was good.
She didn't, okay, but she got some Australian animal show that she was watching Saturday night. So back to the it's cold. And at night, it's like a hotel room. You walk in your hotel room and it's always between 65 and 68 degrees.
So you were ecstatic. This was perfect for you.
Oh, my goodness. I was taking off more clothes while sleeping. I mean, it was the Arctic Circle. I loved it. So apparently it was set on a thing. It was like 71 by day, and it switched to 68 at night. All 13 college-educated people assumed they couldn't touch the thermostat.
Why?
Well, exactly. Don't know. Just you walked in. It was at a certain temperature, and we just assumed that. I guess that's how we have to keep it. First night it was great sleeping weather. Some people were freezing though, and they woke up and they got jackets on and they're like, man, it's cold here. All right. So anyway, we go the whole 3 days, 3 nights. Nobody touches the thermostat, assuming that like if we did, we'd get fined like $2,000. So at the end, my wife grabs the handbook. She's like, just want to make sure we're not going to get fined, if we didn't do the garbage properly, this, that, and the other thing. Yeah, it's right there about the thermostat. Okay. Yeah, we set it on this. You can do whatever you want on it. Just make sure you leave it at 76 degrees when you're leaving the room. When you lock up at 10 a.m. Sunday, just make sure the place is set at 76 degrees. My wife goes, I was freezing all weekend. We could have changed the thermostat. I go, how about that?
Should have read the handbook on the way in, not the way out.
Right. Yeah. You know what? That's
simple.
Probably the better way to go. Right. Instructions are probably better before than after.
I mean, you sound like the dad on Christmas that's putting together the whatever toy for your child, and you decide not to look at the directions.
Right.
I can do this. I can put this together. I don't need the directions. And all of a sudden, you're sitting there with a slot B at the end of it with no slot C for it to go into.
Exactly. And it's broken already, and it hasn't even been used. And I'm wondering why it is this isn't working. And then somebody's like, well, did you read the instructions? No. Yes. So there you go. 13 college-educated people. Some people, in fact, 2 masters and a nursing degree. I mean, they're serious years of college. Hell, the one person in the house. In fact, there are multiple college instructors at various times in the house. 13 adults.
Says a lot about our higher education. Like, I want these folks teaching me.
Exactly.
Apparently, they don't use the instruction manual when they teach either.
Exactly. Of course, we're really, the 2 couples in their 50s and the matriarch of the family. Listen, we're past our prime. We're looking at the younger generation going, hey, come on now, get with it. Get with the program. Yeah. Mm-hmm. So different dinner times, with that many people. And you'd think between 13 college-educated people, one person would, maybe turn up the heat a couple degrees. Nope. Mm-mm. Nope. That's just some, Mark. This just in, Mark. I don't know if you're aware. See, you're an only child. I'm an only child. Our family tree is more like a straight line. But see, when you're part of a side of the family in which it's a bush, which can grow into a tree, okay, there's drama. I don't know if you're aware of that. The more family you're around, there's drama. Huh. Who knew?
Thanks for that. I'm getting ready for several days with lots of family. And I'm imagining there'll be lots of drama next week for me.
Yep. See, your side, straight line. You're going to start now, spending time with the bush, the tree. Ha! Ha! Lots of drama, Mark.
Miller and Moulton, the starting 5 is 25 minutes away. Hopefully no drama between now and then on the Florida Sports Network.
Visit Jason and Todd at the Diamond District.
We declared our independence in 1776 and have been celebrating the 4th of July with concerts, parades, fireworks, and new sunglasses ever since.
Todd, I'm not sure they had sunglasses back then, but let's go with that since the Diamond District can't have a concert, parade, or fireworks in the store and want to celebrate. So this 4th of July, with a purchase of $500 or more, you'll receive free Bose audio sunglasses.
That's right. With any purchase of $500 or more, now through the 4th of July, the Diamond District will give you free Bose audio sunglasses. Listen to your favorite music by the pool, while running, or walking the beach.
Visit the Diamond District now through the 4th of July for your free Bose audio sunglasses with purchase of $500 or more. Only at the Diamond District.
Visit Jason and Todd at the Diamond District.
Hello, friends and family of Southwest Florida. Are you looking to tap into the electric vehicle market? Well, look no further, because we here at Southwest Florida Golf Carts have just what you need. E-bikes, golf carts, LSVs, scooters, and more. Come down and talk with one of our experienced sales reps, have a soda and a smile, and you could be cruising the streets in your new EV today. Stop by the store or visit our website at flgolfcarts.com and enter for a chance to win $100 off your next purchase by answering John's monthly sports question.
David Moulton for Napa, Napa Auto Parts, and Napa Filters. Insist on Napa Filters for your vehicles, or if you're a do-it-yourselfer, only buy Napa Filters. Napa has a filter for almost anything on earth that moves, whether it's motorcycles, foreign and domestic cars, vans, SUVs, earth-moving equipment. You get the idea. Napa Auto Parts, Napa Filters. Insist on them for your vehicles, or if you're a do-it-yourselfer, only buy Napa Filters.
You are listening to Miller and Moulton on the Florida Sports Network.
Yeah, KW, that is an amazing factoid. How many people watch the Cubs Cards from London?
Not
Anybody?
a pitch.
I just saw a couple of highlights on Twitter with the British announcers calling it. Could be a clutch vodka play of the day. Have no idea where Felipe's going.
Well, there is a lot.
Exactly. A lot to choose from. Hell, you could go NASCAR. Final lap, courtesy of the Motor Racing Network or PRN, whichever one had it. Yeah, ball was flying out. Not to the extent that it was flying out when the Yanks and Red Sox first played there, like in 2019. That was crazy.
Yeah, I turned the TV on yesterday afternoon. Keegan Bradley's up by 47 shots.
Just switch over to the women?
No. Wouldn't have known where to find it. Wouldn't have even known where to look unless it was on the Golf Channel.
NBC. The women's PGA, they're by day, NASCAR at night. That sound you heard was NASCAR fans going, "Oh, damn, Fox is done." RCB, it's the first time I can recall the Rays doing. Mark, who was the Rays player a few years ago who got in trouble off the field? You were even heckling him at the game.
Delman Young.
But the Rays were very public in their benching of Wander Franco. Tell you what, Felipe, did you hear Friday night the Reds announcers call of De La Cruz's triple for the cycle?
Yes.
It was outstanding.
I was leaning towards that too. What a
That's
game
the best
that
call
was.
of the weekend.
No doubt. It was awesome.
By the way, as far as hatred goes, the Cincinnati Reds wearing all black is the worst thing I've ever seen in my life.
Those jerseys are ugly.
Wow, Felipe, they're wearing them for you.
You're listening to Miller and Moulton, exclusively on the Florida Sports Network.
21 minutes past the hour. Miller and Moulton, Florida Sports Network, floridasportsnetwork.com. Magic numbers, ladies and gentlemen, are 61, 66, and 73. 61 days away from Wake 0. Notre Dame's in Ireland to play Navy. USC's in action. That's 2 top 15 teams. Hell, might be 2 top 10 teams for all we know. So to many, that counts. To most of the rest of us, 7 games. Come on, that doesn't count. It's not even an appetizer. That's like a foo-foo restaurant that's got like a piece of celery and a slice of carrot and some sauce on it. Just 66 days from now. The Gators in Utah. UCF first game as a member of the Big 12. There we go. Now we're talking. The lead into week 1. And 73 days away, Lions and Chiefs. 10 weeks Thursday. 61, 66, 73. Miller and Moulton, the Florida Sports Network, floridasportsnetwork.com. So what was your favorite sports thing of the weekend?
My favorite sports thing of the weekend,
Yeah.
it tried to be the College World Series,
Okay.
but it wasn't that entertaining yesterday.
Yeah, no, it was Saturday.
It was very much so Saturday. But I was more of a smorgasbord taking it all in. I don't know if I really had a favorite. This was a solid buffet to me. I watched some baseball that was not College World Series. I watched a little bit of the golf, and I watched a little bit of the College World Series. So those were my 3. I took it more of a tapas restaurant, David. I had lots of little bites.
Rory said something which I completely agree with, but usually when golfers or athletes tell the truth, people can't handle it. Jack Nicholson was right. This course they play on in Connecticut, the Travelers, this is an elevated event, by the way. So it technically, by world golf rankings, had the best field of the year, majors included. That's right. It had a better field than the Players. Apparently, it had the best field of the year at the Travelers. Rory comes out and goes, yeah, this course is outdated. This course can't hold up anymore. And God forbid is we get 2 days of rain leading up to the tournament and the course is even slightly soft. He goes, you got to be kidding. Come on. And the average score was like 68. You know, there's a par 70. It only plays 6,800 yards. Did you see what happened on, I think it was Saturday? First time in the history of the PGA Tour. Every single score was shot between 60 and 76. Every single score was shot on a par 70 from 60 to 76. First time that had ever happened on the PGA Tour. Keegan Bradley won it at 23 under par. I mean, think about it. That's his 464s is basically what he just went out and shot.
Look, they hit it too far.
You see Roy's last drive of the tournament?
380 yards for crying out loud.
It's a 430-yard hole. He nearly puts it in the green side bunker. My goodness. So I agree with them, though. Listen, first off, can't believe the scheduling in June. We start with the Memorial elevated event. Then the Canadian Open. I feel badly for Rory. He had to play it. He was the defending champ. Then the U.S. Open. Then an elevated event. 2 elevated events at a major in the same month. Rory's played 4 straight weeks. He's like, I'll see you at the
We'll
British.
see him in August. See him at the British. Yeah, we'll see him at the British. Next time we'll see him in this country is in August.
Get me out of here, man. So, but Mark, if you're talking golf, you know what these tournaments are doing. Well, now Keegan Bradley making his case to be on the Ryder Cup team. That's what this is all about, baby. Now, winning majors and getting on that damn Ryder Cup team.
Absolutely.
And, the people writing and making the case for Keegan Bradley. All right. He's got that fire. That's what you need. You want somebody on the team that desperately wants to be there.
You know, the one thing now in all sports, but in golf, I've noticed it more than anything else, is that when they're walking, they really like to get that tight camera shot of them walking. Not necessarily down the fairway, but coming into the course. You know, the U.S. Open, the Ricky Fowler shot that we've got the camera 4 inches away from his face.
Right.
And then the post-18 shot when you win. And I at least give Keegan Bradley credit because he's looking around, he's trying to find his family, and he's, celebratory with his caddy and getting congratulated by the other golfer and the other caddy. And the camera's right there. And finally he looks and just kind of makes a face and gives a couple thumbs up, because at some point I'd want to punch that camera. And I know the guy's just doing his job. I get it. But talk about invading your space.
Yep. So it's funny, though. I don't want enthusiasm on my Ryder Cup team. I want putters. That's what I want. I want guys who can make putts, because that's what it comes down to. Because they can all hit the damn ball, and they're all happy to be there. It comes down to who's rolling it. And Keegan Bradley can go months without making a damn thing. But this week, he made virtually everything except for the last handful of holes. Not sure I want a guy who can go a month without making a putt. I mean, it's bad enough. I'm stuck with Scheffler.
Oh, you poor thing. You're
exactly
stuck with Scheffler, huh?
I'm stuck with Scheffler, who's hitting the ball like 8 strokes better than everybody else. Did you see? You got to go back 10 months. His worst finish in the last 10 months is like 12th. The guy hasn't made a putt in 6 months. If he starts putting, this baby's over.
If he could ever find his putting stroke,
wow,
what he would have been doing these last 12 months would have been epic.
Yeah, would have been Tiger-esque, actually. I mean, you could make the case. The way he has hit the ball in the last year is in relationship to the field on a consistent basis. It's actually been very Tiger-esque.
Man just can't putt.
Nope.
Not well enough.
No, a year ago. No, he was making it all about 15, 16 months ago. Now, not so much. So, my favorite thing from the weekend, Melon Man. Yeah, baby. Get that guy in the playoffs.
Well, he's in now.
That's right. And he was probably going to get in because of where he was in the points. And this year's not going like last year, where you damn near had every single qualifier had won a race. It looked like they were going to have to take a few guys off the points list this year. But you never know. I mean, we can go on a run here where we could have, So I wanted to make sure that Ross Chastain was in the NASCAR playoff chase, and he is after last night in Nashville. Yeah, baby.
And I wish you'd have sent a text, because the fact that NASCAR ran last night was news to me.
Yep. Sunday night racing under the lights in Nashville. They got a cool trophy too. It's a guitar. Okay. I'm not crazy about the track, but I kind of like the race. If that makes sense.
Not really.
I don't know if it does. Maybe I was just happy because my guy won.
Your guy got the guitar trophy. That's what made you happy.
Yep. Only his 3rd career win. He's been up there a lot. He's like Scheffler. Okay. He's in and around it all the damn time.
You know what? That's a pretty good comparison, because he's been number 1 in points and unable to win, and he's been right there in every race. It's actually a decent comparison. But Ross Chastain getting it done in Nashville. If you missed that or anything else that you missed over the weekend, we'll get you caught up. The starting 5 is next right here. Miller and Moulton. Thanks for listening on the Florida Sports Network.
Visit Jason and Todd at the Diamond District.
While talking with my friends Jason and Todd with the Diamond District, the 4th of July came up. And Todd was like,
Jason, the Diamond District is celebrating 20 years in business. Let's give something away for free this 4th of July.
Then Jason, with that aha look on his face, said,
Todd, I had the perfect idea. I was wearing my Bose audio sunglasses at the pool the other day and loved the feel, the look, and the sound. Let's do this. With a purchase of $500 or more, we'll give a pair of these sweet sounding shades away.
It didn't take Todd long to agree.
Jason, you're brilliant. Who wouldn't want Bose audio sunglasses? And for a purchase of $500 or more, it's a no-brainer.
It is a no-brainer. Now through the 4th of July, free Bose audio sunglasses with your purchase of $500 or more from the Diamond District.
Visit Jason and Todd at the Diamond District.
Yeah. Hi. Excuse me.
Hey, the line starts back here. Ma'am, if your party's not here, you're gonna have to go around again.
If you had the opportunity to avoid all this, wouldn't you?
Salt Live is the official transportation provider of the Miller and Moulton Morning Show, making your trip to and from the airport seamless and stress-free. Salt Live is supported with the help of local partners like the Bayfront Inn. Gather your family and friends and enjoy a leisurely day on the water with a pontoon or deck boat. If you prefer to explore the waterways without a motor, the Bayfront has canoes, standboards, and kayaks. At the end of your journey, enjoy lunch or dinner at the Bamboo Tropical Bar and Grill. The Bayfront Inn, something for everyone on 5th Avenue in downtown Naples. BayfrontInNaples.com. When you need a ride, book with Salt Live Transportation, 308-8686, or book on saltlivetransportation.com.
You were listening to Miller and Moulton on the Florida Sports Network.
So I have a play from Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. I need to choose one. This is tough.
You do know the question of the day. Did he call?
No. No, I texted him again and said, can you call me Friday? And he never called Friday.
Did he answer the text and say, yeah?
No. That's why right now I don't, it makes me a little nervous.
Ambien, I think it's Labor Day weekend.
I think it's 4th of July. I thought it's coming up. I thought they went
really?
Nashville. I thought they went Nashville, then Chicago.
Oh, okay. My bad. I knew it was a holiday. I thought it was Labor Day. That should go over swimmingly. Lot to keep track of, Ambien. Oh, okay. So it's this Sunday. How about that?
Chalk that up with other things I won't watch. This whole second half of the vacation thing is going to be, even though it's only a couple of days in Maryland, could be a total fiasco.
In a good way or no?
It won't be bad, but we're not staying with my in-laws.
Right.
They put us in a hotel or a bed and breakfast. So,
Oh.
but my daughter's staying with all of them. So we're staying in a bed and breakfast. No idea if it's I'm assuming that it's nice. I don't know.
So basically, they let you guys know within your family who the important people are.
Well, it's not even my in-laws. It's
right.
Her sister-in-law's parents, and it's a fiasco, David. It's a fiasco.
Are there kids involved, and that's why Maddie's staying with?
Yes.
Gotcha. DC, does it look neat, or does it look like it's going to be a fiasco? I just don't know how the streets are paved well enough to do this race. I mean, I love my big cities, but none of the roads are good. City streets get beat up.
Watch out for the potholes.
Yeah.
There's no snow and ice in Chicago either.
No. And it's not a heavy union town, so, you're able to fix things quickly. Oh, okay.
You're listening to Miller and Moulton, only on the Florida Sports Network.
22 minutes before the hour. Thanks so much for being with us. Miller and Moulton, the Florida Sports Network, floridasportsnetwork.com. Kevin Brockway, 2 hours from now, live from Omaha. Gators, LSU. Hey, does anybody out there, did you graduate this year from Florida? Or did you know somebody who graduated this year from Florida? Does anybody know when the last day of classes were at Florida? Because
May.
Because it's
right,
early, right?
It's in May, right?
Like the first or second week of May.
Right. And so just so you know, the sports season's ending on June 26th. These guys are what? How many of these guys graduated 7 weeks ago? I mean, they're trying to win their school a national championship. When did they have to leave the dorms?
Right. They'll come back to school. I mean, LSU has a more devout fan base for their baseball team than Florida does. But the Gators, if they win, kids will come back to Gainesville with no one on campus. They will, get out of your apartments. You got to get out now.
Stuff will be in bags on the yard. Oh, wow. This is great. When are we having the parade? Parade? What, for the spring football recruiting season? What? Why don't you guys all go over to Spurrier's place, have dinner? His restaurant's nice, actually. Opened it last year, and actually.
Does he allow baseball players in it?
Well, this time of year, hell yeah. How big's your party? Party for 53. 20 minutes before the hour. Time for
The Starting Five. 5 stories you need to know. It's the Starting Five on Miller and Moulton. Here's number 1.
Well, one of the Florida Major League Baseball teams took 3 out of 4 from their patsy opponent. And that team was the Marlins. Shutting out the Pirates 2-0. This 20-year-old sensation, Yuri Perez, you may want to go see him pitch. I'm just saying. 6 more shutout innings yesterday. You take his first 2 starts out of the equation, his ERA is .27.
He has the lowest ERA in his first 9 starts in Marlins history.
Luis Arise, bum, 1 for 4, hitting .399. Marlins, as we mentioned, took 3 out of 4 from the Pirates. They're 11 games over 500. Go on the road this week. 3 in Boston, 3 in Atlanta. Mark, you okay with a 3-3 week? If the Marlins go on the road, 2 out of 3 in the one series, lose 2 out of 3 in the other, you
I
okay
think
with
that would be spectacular.
Okay. So let's see if they can go 3-3 this week. Marlins, by the way, are the first wild card team in the National League, approaching the midway point of the season. Huh? How about that? Meanwhile, the Rays had to win yesterday just to split the 4-gamer with Kansas City. Rays are actually below 500 in the last 2 weeks. 3-1 Tampa Bay. Jose Siri with a homer, Wander Franco with a sac fly, and the 2-run 7th. That was the difference. 18,442 took in the finale of the 4-game series. Rays attendance, though, is up like 30% for the year.
Well, it should be. They're the best team in baseball. I mean, what else do they have to do?
It's just a factoid. That's all. Just pointing that out. Rays leads 4.5 over the Orioles, who beat Seattle 3-2. Yankees were 3 in the 8th to rally and beat Texas. They won the series against the Rangers 5-3. Toronto beat Oakland 12-1. The Blue Jays have won 4 of 5. By the way, George Springer led off the game with a homer. 55th time he's done that. That's the second most in Major League history. Ricky Henderson did it over 80 times. Luis Robert with 2 homers for the White Sox, 4-1 over the Red Sox. Cardinals got a split in London against the Cubs, winning yesterday 7-5. The Braves and the Reds had, without question, the most entertaining series of the weekend. Reds won on Friday. Braves won 7-6 both Saturday and Sunday to take 2 out of 3. Braves lead is 6. The Reds leads a half a game over Milwaukee. Brewers beat the Guardians yesterday, 5-4-10. They took 2 out of 3 in that series.
And by the way, for the weekend, just a cool 43,000 Friday sold out, 43,000 Saturday sold out, 40,000 on Sunday.
There you go.
Where are you going to go?
Yeah, where are you going to go? Going to go. You know what? I think we're going to spend our summer here before we turn our attention to Joe Burrow and the boys. Twins took 2 out of 3 from the Tigers. They rallied 6-3-10. They're back above 500, Mark. We can actually talk about them as if they're a major league team. Only a game above 500, but still, they have a 2-game lead over the Guardians.
They are going to regret the month of June. They had an opportunity to pull away from Cleveland, and they did not.
Phillies took 2 out of 3 from the Mets. They did it the hard way. They were trailing by 3 going to the 8th, and they got 1 hit, and yet managed to score 4 times. That's not easy to do. Only the Mets pitching and Mets managing could do it for them. Yes, 1 hit to go with 3 walks, an error, and 2 hit by pitches. You add it all up, 4 runs scored, Phillies 7-6. They're 3 games behind the Marlins for second in the division. Mets are 8 games out of the final wild card spot. What are you kidding me? They're closer to the worst record in the league than they are the wild card.
Thank you. They're a mess.
Boy, are they ever. Arizona avoided the sweep in San Francisco. They beat the Giants 5-2 to extend their lead over the Giants to 2.5. Dodgers, meanwhile, lost in 11 to Houston 6-5. Freddie Freeman had a hell of a weekend. Hit his 300th homer on Saturday, then got his 2,000th hit yesterday. There are not 100 players in the history of the sport who have 300 homers and 2,000 hits.
Is he already a Hall of Famer?
No. But he's on his way. He's 33 years old. He's got 2,000 hits. If you take a look at the active players with 2,000 hits, Joey Votto, late 30s, doesn't have much time left. Okay. Cabrera, who obviously has over 3,000. But Andrew McCutchen just got his 2,000, pretty close to the end. I think of the players, besides Cabrera, who active players who have 2,000 hits. I think Freeman's the one who you can see getting a 3,000. I'm curious if Trout's going to get there. Not that, Trout's going to the Hall of Fame, but Will Trout actually get there with the magic number? Will he be in the 500, 3,000 club is what I'm wondering. But I think Freddie Freeman has to hit the club, Mark.
Okay.
Because I don't think he's going to get to 500. And 400 homers nowadays is not viewed. Al Kaline at 399 homers. Dale Murphy, 398, he's not in. If Dale Murphy can't get in with his 398 homers, can Freddie Freeman get in when he's got his 398 homers? I don't think so. So that's why I think Freddie's got to hit the magic 3,000.
All depends on the launch angle.
I want to make fun of you, but unfortunately these days you're right. Washington beat San Diego 8-3. We got to put the Padres in the same category as the Mets.
As the Mets. David, you beat me to it. The two teams that we really don't need to talk about anymore until they can give us a reason to are the Mets and the San Diego Padres.
I mean, the Mets are like 7 below 500. The Padres are 4 below 500, for goodness sake. 6.5 out of the final wild card spot. So the Rockies lost to the Angels 25-1 on Saturday. And then beat them 4-3 yesterday. Ohtani with 2 hits. He's hitting 297. So they played a 3-game series. The Rockies got outscored by 20 runs and won the series. College World Series, it's kind of what happened in Omaha over the weekend. LSU won Saturday 4-3 in extra innings. Florida trailed 3-1 in the third, Mark, and then scored 23 consecutive runs. A 6-run third was key. Ty Evans with 2 homers, 5 RBIs, including a slam. That's just in the first 3 innings.
And I think Ty Evans is the kid who has 4 home runs in the College World Series and had 4 home runs during the regular season.
And let me tell you, did he have a home run trot when he hit that slam? I mean, Reggie Jackson was watching and said, dude, you're taking a long time rounding the bases. You might just want to pick up the pace a little bit. So, all right, Florida LSU tonight, 7 o'clock ESPN. This is for the Natty. Gators have only won the Natty once. That was 6 years ago. LSU's won it 6 previous times. They have not won one since 2009. This will be the 4th consecutive Natty won by an SEC school. 2020, we didn't have one because of the pandemic, but in 2019, we had Vandy. 2021, Mississippi State. Last year, Ole Miss. Just saying. Golf, Keegan Bradley won the Travelers in Connecticut by 3. He shot 23 under par. Scheffler was T4, Rory T7. JT. Hey, we had a Justin Thomas sighting. Well, he did shoot 60 on Saturday, after all. He finished T9. LPGA, the Women's PGA Championship at Baltusrol. China's Roning Yin birdied 18 to win by 1. 20-year-old American Rose Zhang finished T8. She got within 1 mark late. She had an 8-footer on 15 to tie for the lead, missed it, then bogeyed the next hole and, well, finished T8. NASCAR, Ross Chastain, his first win of the year from the pole, which was his first career pole. Only his 3rd career win. Seems like he's won more than that, right? 2 last year and 1 this year, and it had been over 14 months since he won. He won the Nashville 300, Martin Truex 2nd, Denny Hamlin 3rd. Truex leads in the points. Ross is tied for 2nd with William Byron. Lots of tidbits, Mark. NBA, T-Wolves re-signed center Naz Reid. This is how much money's in the NBA. He's a backup center. He just signed a 3-year, $42 million deal. He's going to make more per year than Saquon Barkley. NHL, Jordan Staal, who's 34 years old, signed a 4-year deal to remain in Carolina. Wow. I didn't think he had that much tread left on the tires. The Avs, who spent the whole year looking for a number 2 center, may have found him. Ryan Johansson was acquired from Nashville. NFL, Devontae Adams. Remember when he was walking off the field in Kansas City, that Monday night game, and he shoved that cameraman and he faced assault charges? Yeah, they dropped the charges. Bills extended head coach Sean McDermott and GM Brandon Beane through 2027. They got 5 more years to try to win that elusive Super Bowl. Commander's sale vote's going to be July 20th, for the record. July 20th. So in 3 weeks, ownership change will happen. Dion had successful surgery for now to fix the blood clots in his left leg. He said he also has a blood clot in his right thigh, which is going to have to be attended to soon. He says he cannot feel the bottom of his left foot. They're desperately trying to save it. And Mark, not one but two basketball players announced yesterday that they were transferring. One is Alabama point guard Javon Quinterly. He apparently graduated over the weekend. He said, I'm a grad transfer. I'm out of here. And UCF guard Ethel Horton, who averaged 12 points, 4 rebounds, started all 34 games, entered the transfer portal as well. I got to admit, this is too late in the year. You know, I'm all for it. I want them to get paid. I want them to have freedom of movement, the whole deal. What's Alabama UCF going to do the last week of June? This is tough. I do think the window that we may have to just, you can transfer, I don't know, May 15th, maybe. After May 15th, you're stuck where you are. I don't know. It just seems late in the year to me. How does Alabama...
Freedom of movement is freedom of movement.
I understand that. Although the professional leagues do have time periods in which you can have freedom of movement. You can make trades. You can sign free agents. And then they have a deadline, and you can't do it after this date. I'm just wondering, in college sports, do we need to have transfer windows? Yes or no? Just a thought. Maybe we could talk about it. At 8 minutes before the hour, that was
the Starting Five every weekday morning at this time on Miller and Moulton.
It sounds like your gut feeling is, suck it up and deal.
Well, I'm fine with putting some rules around it. I just think it's hilarious that when things don't work out for the schools, we need more rules. When things don't work out for the kids, well, kids be damned.
And 99% of the time, I'm totally behind you on this. I do think this is a tough spot for a coach in a program. It's like, wait a minute. Wait, you're what? Well, what the hell am I supposed to do on June 26th?
And exactly, when a coach up and leaves at this time of year, we have the same complaint, but they can do it as well. So if we're going to put a window on the players, maybe we have to put a window on when coaches leave too.
Well, like when Huggins resigned, okay, those kids have 30 days that they can leave. No coaches have left at Alabama and UCF.
Visit Jason and Todd at the Diamond District.
We declared our independence in 1776 and have been celebrating the 4th of July with concerts, parades, fireworks, and new sunglasses ever since.
Todd, I'm not sure they had sunglasses back then, but let's go with that since the Diamond District can't have a concert, parade, or fireworks in the store and want to celebrate. So this 4th of July, with a purchase of $500 or more, you'll receive free Bose audio sunglasses.
That's right. With any purchase of $500 or more, now through the 4th of July, the Diamond District will give you free Bose audio sunglasses. Listen to your favorite music by the pool, while running, or walking the beach.
Visit the Diamond District now through the 4th of July for your free Bose audio sunglasses with purchase of $500 or more. Only at the Diamond District.
Visit Jason and Todd at the Diamond District.
David Moulton for Napa Auto Parts, and Napa Filters. Insist on Napa filters for your vehicles, or if you're a do-it-yourselfer, only buy Napa filters. Napa has a filter for almost anything on earth that moves, whether it's motorcycles, foreign and domestic cars, vans, SUVs, earth-moving equipment. You get the idea. Napa Auto Parts, Napa Filters. Insist on them for your vehicles, or if you're a do-it-yourselfer, only buy Napa Filters.
Hello, friends and family of Southwest Florida. Are you looking to tap into the electric vehicle market? Well, look no further, because we here at Southwest Florida Golf Carts have just what you need. E-bikes, golf carts, LSVs, scooters, and more. Come down and talk with one of our experienced sales reps, have a soda and a smile, and you could be cruising the streets in your new EV today. Stop by the store or visit our website at flgolfcarts.com and enter for a chance to win $100 off your next purchase by answering John's monthly sports question.
Miller and Moulton here for the Clutch Vodka Play of the Day.
Mark, remember Nick Charles, Fred Hickman, the CNN Play of the Day?
Yeah, CNN did a nightly sports show. That was a while ago.
Yes, it was. Just work with me. Everyone liked the pod, the Play of the Day. So how about we have the Clutch Vodka Play of the Day?
Sounds good. Fun. Smooth. Like Clutch Vodka.
Listen weekday mornings for the Clutch Vodka Play of the Day.
That's Clutch with a K.
Located on the East Trail, locally owned Naples Tiki Bar and Grill is an outdoor eatery next to the Hitching Post Shopping Center. Island-inspired food with a true tiki theme. The best place in Naples to enjoy the beautiful weather in Southwest Florida. The Naples Tiki Bar and Grill offers a great menu for dine-in or takeout. Enjoy our famous pulled pork, huge burgers, and tiki bar cocktails. Don't miss happy hour every day from 3 to 6 and live music 7 days a week. See you soon at the Naples Tiki Bar and Grill, 11498 Tamiami Trail East.
You were listening to Miller and Moulton on the Florida Sports Network.
Well, I mean, this is the time of year to get caught up on shows, right? And the sports better be the baseball and golf better be really good, because otherwise it's get caught up on shows season. I'm impressed that the kid has said, "Give me the ball." I'm really impressed. 3 days rest. He went 8 innings, threw 110 pitches. And he's like, "Give me the damn ball." He's going to be a top 10 pick for sure in the draft. A lot of people think he would be a top 5. He's got an agent, his parents. I mean, he does not need to pitch tonight. He earned his legendary status at LSU winning that. Well, he didn't get the win because they won an extra innings. But when he went number 1 team in the country and he threw 8 3-hit innings, he's going to be remembered at LSU fondly for that. He did not have to pitch again. I'm very impressed. Good for the kid, by the way.
Absolutely.
I'll tell you what, if I'm the team that drafts him, I may just shut him down. I may give him the rest of the year off. Here's your bonus. Come to the ballpark, do your media tour for a day, and then take the rest of the year off.
Burrow, it's football, Paul. Come on now.
Oh, God. Are you serious, Paul? That's a joke, right?
Does it sound like he's eating 4 value meals in between every break?
It's impressive. I've never.
It is just a constant.
No, listen, the work that he puts in between breaks, I've never seen anything like it in my life.
Thank you. Thank you. Lunch meat and cheese. Just saw that order yesterday at Publix. I'd like a pound and a half of the ham, a pound and a half of the turkey, and I'd like a pound of the cheese. And man, they do that, the plastic and the 2 slices in the plastic. Do you know how long it took to get the cheese?
2 hours.
Damn near. I could have done all the rest of the shopping.
My Publix, it is an annoyance of mine because my Publix deli is bad. The meat counter, like they're not as efficient as the rest of the
Grand Oaks.
Yeah.
It's
horrible. They don't use the numbers. That really irritates me because I just want to pick my number. I can go do other shopping. And if you're busy, fine. Let me grab number 47.
It used to be like that.
Sometimes it is. Sometimes it isn't. It's a crapshoot.
I love Publix.
I'm a good guy. I'm a good guy in line. Like I would say to you, you go. You're in front of me. I'll when you come back, I'll let you go. See, I like to take my time.
You are listening to Miller and Moulton, exclusively on the Florida Sports Network. And now, here's Mark Miller and David Moulton.
Hour 2 of Miller and Moulton. Thanks so much for being with us. Florida Sports Network, floridasportsnetwork.com. National championship at stake tonight. LSU and Florida College World Series. What the heck else are you going to watch? I know you got all those shows on Netflix and, you know, whatever that you're catching up on. You start Tuesday. Come on now. What the heck? You can wait one more night. Just be prepared.
It is time to catch up on shows, I will say. I mean,
oh, it definitely is. And many of us have already started. But I'm just saying you can put it off one more night because it can really begin in earnest on Tuesday unless your baseball team's got it going on.
And at least in the state of Florida, our baseball teams have it going on with the Rays in first place and the Marlins as a wild card thing. Got to get this in really quickly. Yeah, if you've heard the new ad running, because we've been pretty consistent. Our guys at the Diamond District jumped up. They're a new sponsor, but they're doing something special just for our listeners. You heard the ad. You get the sunglasses if you spend $500. But if you mention Miller and Moulton, it's that simple. You get another 10% off.
Hot damn.
They're putting our feet to the fire. Saying, all right, we're going to spend a little something with you. You're going to see what your listeners do for us. So mention Miller and Moulton. You get another 10% off, and you get these really cool Bose sunglasses that have speakers like in the earpieces. They're pretty fantastic.
Wow. Speaking of fantastic, at least I think so. I mean, it's not 10% off at the Diamond District when you mention Miller and Moulton, but so we thought Florida had an edge against LSU because LSU had to throw their best pitcher Thursday night of last week to just get into the finals against the Gators. This Paul Skeens guy. He, by the way, threw 8 shutout innings against the number 1 team in the country, gave up 3 hits, struck out like 11, and LSU won an extra innings. So, and he's going to get drafted in the top 10 of the upcoming draft, maybe even top 5. So he has secured, Mark, his place in LSU baseball history. I mean, they'll always, it will come up in LSU baseball circles. You remember when Skeens, the game, number 1 Wake Forest, okay, 8 shutout innings to help us win. So it's a natty tonight. And he has said, yeah, I'm available. Give me the ball. I'll start the damn game if you want. 3 days rest. This is college now. This ain't Major League Baseball.
And they typically get 6 days rest between starts.
Thank you. He pitches Friday nights. You know when he pitches again the next week? Friday night. It's actually one of the things the Mets are going through right now. They signed a pitcher from Japan. In Japan, they do it just like they do in college. You go 5-6 days in between starts. Okay. And the couple times they've called on him to pitch on normal 4 days rest, he has not been good because he's used to pitching on more rest than that. So, Mark, think about it. You're this kid's father. He's already secured his little place in LSU baseball lore. Going head-to-head with another top 5 pitcher on Wake Forest who threw 7 shutout innings. Your son threw 8. You're in the College World Series. You could argue, my son had a pretty big to-do with that. Would you let him pitch tonight with everything that he's risking?
David, we've been doing this show together a long time.
Yep.
You know this is right. This hits me in the gut.
Uh-huh. Right, because it's your kid now.
Because I would make my kid ineligible before his senior year prior to NIL.
Right.
if he was a first-round pick.
Right. You and I have said that for years. If our kid was ever this good, we would have committed so many NCAA violations so that our son or daughter would have been ineligible to play in said sport. But Mark, they've changed the rules, and particularly at LSU, it's very difficult to cheat enough to be ineligible at LSU. So our kid is eligible to pitch tonight. 3
And there's
days
not
rest.
a damn thing we can do about it.
Well, there is actually. We could say to the coach, yeah, you can't pitch him. Hey, listen, we both know baseball and softball coaches, okay? And we both know a baseball coach who had a top 10 pick of the draft. And when you get close to the end of their careers, like I'll even mention Dave Tillett at FGCU, when he had Chris Sale, his rule with Sale, and he was his Friday night pitcher, 130 pitches was his max. He would not let him go more than 130. But he tried to keep him below 120. But at the end of the season, they're in the ASUN tournament. They're in the conference tournament. And he throws them, and he throws like 110 pitches in 7 innings. Now, if it was a regular season start, he would have put him back out there for the 8th. But he's got scouts watching. Okay, he knows he's going to go top 10 in the draft probably in 2 weeks. And he's like, I can't send him out there another inning. I got to protect the arm. I just do. He's got too much invested here. I got to protect him. Okay?
And this is different than that game. It's the national championship. It's the final college game of the year, period. We know that.
All right, so last college game of this kid's life also. But his legacy at LSU is assured, okay? And in a week here, he's going to get drafted in the top 10. Probably top 5.
I wouldn't call the coach. Much as I'd want to. I wouldn't do it.
What about, we've hired an agent, though. Let's tell the truth here. Come on. We've hired an agent.
Oh, no, the agent and the dad are on the phone, and the conversations are not pleasant right now because neither of them want this kid to pitch.
Okay. So you guys are just going to, go to the bar yourselves and get hammered but not do anything? I mean, that's what I'm wondering. If you're this kid's son, if you're his agent, of course the kid wants to pitch. Of course he does. But that's where you're the parent, you're the agent. What is your job? In some cases, to do what? Protect your child from themselves.
He's not 17, David.
I understand that, but still.
I don't know if I can say any, to be brutally honest, anything I can say that's going to stop him from doing it, other than to have him just not talk to me for the rest of my life because I tried to get him not to pitch in a game.
By the way, you and I, let's just say you're the dad, I'm the agent. We could go to that Rocco's Pizzeria and add to the Jello shot total.
We would definitely be adding to the Jello shot total.
Imagine how many Jello shots it's a 7:00 game. We'd go for lunch, pizza, the Jello shots. We'd go back, sleep it off, come back for first pitch. Hey, there's your kid. Yeah, I know. Not only that, he's, 3-4 innings tops. How about this? See, here's what I'd be willing to do. I say to the head coach, how about if you just hold them for the 9th or the 8th and 9th? Use your closer. Use your bullpen earlier if you have to. Use your number 2 starter or number 3 starter, and then throw your best setup guy in the 5th and your closer in the 6th or 7th.
And that was what they suggested in the broadcast. Was I don't know if you're going to pitch him or not, but in the 6th inning, you're sending him down to the bullpen because the crowd's about 80-20 LSU to Florida Gators.
Yes.
The crowd will go bat blank crazy when this kid starts making his way to the bullpen. So I think you hold him and pitch him late in the game if you're going to pitch him.
But of course, that you're expecting if he pitches, he will pitch well. Why? Because he's your stud. And so in theory, the game could get out of hand and he never gets in. And then people are going, well, why didn't you pitch your stud? Why didn't you start him? I mean, think about if he throws 4 one-run innings to start the game. He goes through the lineup twice. He gives up a run. And then he comes out. Remember, it's the last game of the year. We're not worried about it. None of the top relievers pitched yesterday for LSU. I mean, they got beat 24-4. None of their top relievers pitched. So you can empty the tank with your two best relievers. I mean, they could both easily go 2 innings. I mean, both managers and their head coaches, both head coaches can really shorten this game.
I'd pitch him. If I was dad, I'd let him pitch.
You'd start him if you're the head coach? Or are you holding him in the back end?
Probably holding him for the back end.
Okay. I will say it gives you cover, because then in theory he doesn't pitch and you can't be accused of, because also this could come back to haunt you in recruiting. I mean, there are other dads out there that are going to be like, you ain't doing that with my kid. No way. He pitched you into the finals. That's enough. The 2 games he started, he pitched in the 8th both times. You won both games. That's enough. Just wondering. This is the modern day. This ain't 30, 40 years ago.
Oh,
where
no.
Of course he pitched.
This will affect recruiting down the line, and that's why I think you're right. If you put him in the bullpen, it provides you cover, and if you throw him, you're in a tight game, and you're going to get – I think you get the juice from the crowd with him playing. So that's the direction I'd go in.
So we'll see. 7:00 tonight. Is he starting? Is he relieving? Also, the Gators, they got 2 first-round picks on the mound. What's their head coach going to do? How's he going to use them? You don't think those kids want to pitch? You don't think they want to come back even on 1-day rest?
And throw an inning?
Or 2? Listen, I'm not kidding. If I were those kids and I get drafted by a team, I'd say, by the way, I'm done. Just so you know, I'm done. I pitched till damn near July. Okay, the first game was the second week of February. I'm done.
It is amazing to me that we're playing college baseball on June the 26th.
Exactly. These kids graduated 7 weeks ago, maybe 8. If you think about it, both these guys played regular season games after graduating. Never mind the SEC tournament and 3 rounds of the playoffs. Well, I had a job waiting for me, but we kept winning.
Does this NIL still pay through June? How's that work?
Hey, Mom, can you go get my television from my dorm room, please?
They've thrown me out. Miller and Moulton, thanks for listening right here on the Florida Sports Network.
David Moulton for Napa Auto Parts, and Napa Filters. Insist on Napa filters for your vehicles, or if you're a do-it-yourselfer, only buy Napa filters. Napa has a filter for almost anything on earth that moves, whether it's motorcycles, foreign and domestic cars, vans, SUVs, earth-moving equipment. You get the idea. Napa Auto Parts, Napa filters. Insist on them for your vehicles, or if you're a do-it-yourselfer, only buy Napa filters.
Located on the East Trail, locally owned Naples Tiki Bar and Grill is an outdoor eatery next to the Hitching Post Shopping Center. Island-inspired food with a true tiki theme. The best place in Naples to enjoy the beautiful weather in Southwest Florida. The Naples Tiki Bar and Grill offers a great menu for dine-in or takeout. Enjoy our famous pulled pork, huge burgers, and tiki bar cocktails. Don't miss happy hour every day from 3 to 6 and live music 7 days a week. See you soon at the Naples Tiki Bar and Grill, 11498 Tamiami Trail East.
Visit Jason and Todd at the Diamond District.
We declared our independence in 1776 and have been celebrating the 4th of July with concerts, parades, fireworks, and new sunglasses ever since.
Todd, I'm not sure they had sunglasses back then, but let's go with that since the Diamond District can't have a concert, parade, or fireworks in the store and want to celebrate. So this 4th of July, with a purchase of $500 or more, you'll receive free Bose audio sunglasses.
That's right. With any purchase of $500 or more, now through the 4th of July, the Diamond District will give you free Bose audio sunglasses. Listen to your favorite music by the pool, while running or walking the beach.
Visit the Diamond District now through the 4th of July for your free Bose audio sunglasses with purchase of $500 or more. Only at the Diamond District.
Visit Jason and Todd at the Diamond District.
You were listening to Miller and Moulton on the Florida Sports Network.
Yeah, he's the head coach at Georgia, DC. Wes Johnson. I think he's still the LSU pitching coach, though.
I think he is.
Oh.
Just for this week, and then they're back in August for good. I gave him a little bonus for signing for the August through January.
Mention Miller and Moulton, get an additional 10% off.
Yeah, and whoever that was says, hope my wife's not listening. Go buy her something and mention Miller and Moulton. It'll make us look good. Go spend some of your hard-earned money on your wife.
Yeah. And get the free glasses and the additional 10%. How about that?
I will say those glasses are amazing though, because headphones sometimes they shake in your ear and they come off glasses.
Yeah.
I mean, sunglasses, they're resting on your ears peacefully.
They're pretty cool.
No, they're awesome.
They work on planes.
I mean, if you want to be that guy wearing sunglasses on
Bluetooth,
planes,
so I would imagine.
Yeah, no, they're Bluetooth.
Oh, Felipe, nothing like the guy who sits on the plane with sunglasses on.
Yep. Mm-hmm. Never takes them off once either.
Nope.
Not once.
Uh-oh.
Nope.
Did we just go out on Twitch, everybody? Yeah, we did.
Oh, man.
Is it a Twitch thing or an us thing?
It's a Twitch thing.
Yeah, it might be a Twitch thing.
No, it is a Twitch. There, we were back on Twitch.
Okay.
Just kicked everybody off.
Yeah, Twitch farted on KW's side. Mark, was it you that said that you took your daughter to Game Time and you kind of regret it?
Wasn't me.
That wasn't you. Yeah.
MLB trade deadline, I believe, is July 31st. That's when it normally is every year, unless July 31st falls on a particular day. And they...
Yeah, I went to Game Time and that was expensive. Oh.
August 1st. Yeah, August 1st.
I got nervous because Sofa almost beat me in the basketball shootout. 10 seconds.
You're listening to Miller and Moulton, exclusively on the Florida Sports Network.
21 minutes past the hour. Miller and Moulton, Florida Sports Network, floridasportsnetwork.com. Kevin Brockway to join us a little more than an hour live from Omaha. Gators and LSU for the college baseball national championship tonight. Florida looking for their second baseball natty. LSU looking for their seventh. Florida won their lone national title 6 years ago. You know, Mark, I was mentioning earlier about the Marlins and their 20-year-old youngster, Yuri Perez, and how he's been magnificent. And he's had back-to-back starts where he's thrown 6 shutout innings. And so people yesterday were getting, really excited about the Yuri Perez. And Matt Modica just tweeted out, he said, a 20-year-old. So pitching really well to start his career. He goes, there was a 20-year-old in 1981 whose first 8 starts, he threw, wait for it, 8 complete games. And his ERA was 0.5. Could you imagine if we had Fernando Mania now?
Well, he wouldn't pitch past the 7th inning.
It's true. Tommy Lasorda wouldn't be his manager. You're good. Keep going. Yeah.
Get him out at around 100, 110 pitches.
4 of those 8 starts with double-digit strikeouts, by the way. 68 strikeouts in 72 innings. I'm just don't get me wrong. Felipe, this Yuri Perez, reason for you to be excited. Hell, he's got to pick up the slack of your Cy Young Award winner who sucks right now. But just this, I hate, Mark, when the people put things in perspective.
Yeah, perspective of 40 plus years ago when the game was, I mean, it's a great factoid, but we don't allow that anymore. Fernando Mania wouldn't happen today. He'd get taken out in the 7th.
That sucks, doesn't it? It just sucks. Like 40 years ago, would we have done a segment talking about whether or not this kid should come back on 3 days rest and pitch?
No, it would just be he's pitching.
Of course he's pitching. It's for the national championship. He's their best pitcher. What the hell are you guys talking about?
Then again, 40 years ago, we wouldn't be talking about the College World Series. That's all. I mean, we see sports and watch things that we would have never watched.
That's true. That's true. Although in the 80s, Clemens with Texas, Will Clark, Rafael Palmeiro with Mississippi State, that's ESPN helped make college baseball. College basketball, college baseball. They owe a lot to the 4-letter network.
21,000 is the text line, 21000. If you have anything to add that you are wondering about from the weekend that happened. Big trade in basketball since we last left with Poole. Well, it's just kind of interesting. I mean, obviously, Draymond wins.
I mean, that was one of the most confusing trades I've ever seen in my life. What are the Warriors thinking? I mean, that's Mike Dunleavy Jr.'s first move as GM.
Well, I think it's pretty obvious what they're thinking. All right.
They want Poole out of there.
Yes.
Draymond won.
And they want to re-sign Draymond.
Draymond won. That's exactly what happened.
Ridiculous.
Well, and the other thing is that they free up 90-something million over the next 3 years. Okay, because the salaries pretty much trade off Chris Paul this year for Jordan Poole this year. I don't understand, though, the player they acquired. I'm actually okay with them just deciding, you know what, it didn't work here with Jordan Poole, one reason or another. And by the way, it sounds as if it wasn't going to work with Jordan Poole there, whether they re-sign Draymond or not.
I mean, what do you take? 40 games of Chris Paul, if that, or a top 10 pick in the NBA draft? They could have gotten so much more than, washed up Chris Paul. Please, retirement home Chris Paul.
I will say, not that anybody cares, and goodness knows the new Wizards GM, I can't believe he could trade who he's traded and not acquire one first-round pick back. But he did put a nice little young, affordable backcourt together. All right. He got the backup point guard at Memphis. What's it, Tyus Young? Okay. And then Jordan Poole, who signed for 4 years. Okay. I mean, he's actually now got his backcourt for the next 3, 4, 5 years. They're young, and by NBA standards, they're affordable. Now he can just, worry about the rest of the team.
Yeah, it's still one of the worst hauls I've ever seen for what was traded, like you said, to not come up with the first-round pick.
Or anything else, just a younger player. I mean, I can't wait to see Chris Paul back up Steph Curry and play 26 minutes a game.
It's a very weird signing. Like, if they want to limit Steph's regular season minutes and the offense does not run effectively without him on the floor, and now they're thinking, well, we can limit his minutes to, say, 35 a night. The 13 minutes he's not on the floor, Chris Paul will run the offense really well. Okay. And in the regular season, we can afford to have him on the floor at the same time because, let's face it, guys don't play hard. But you can't have him on the floor in the playoffs at the same time. It'd be the worst defensive backcourt of all time. Okay. And Steph's going to play 42 minutes a night. So I'm wondering if, by the way, they're just going to keep him for 3-4 months and they're going to trade him at the trade deadline. Like, I will be surprised if this thing works. Also, is Chris Paul going to come off the bench? When's the last time Chris Paul's come off the bench? I'm going to go out on a limb and say 6th grade.
And that's when he was playing on the 9th grade team.
Right.
It's looking like it'll be just that, though. Just they'll keep him healthy, and then they'll trade him at the deadline. They did something similar with D'Angelo Russell a couple off seasons ago.
All right. Yeah, it was a big deal. The Porzingis deal, got completed, and they went about it, and then they signed him to an extension. And, and free agency begins Saturday, which means it's already underway because, there's so much illegal tampering going on in that league.
Time now for our Clutch Vodka play of the day. That's Clutch with a K. Felipe had choices. What did you choose?
I could have gone so many different ways, but you know what? I went with the Marlins. And you want to know why? Because there are only 5 other teams in Major League Baseball right now with more wins than the Miami Marlins. And on Saturday, John Birdie was the hero.
Count is 2-1. Here is the 2-1 pitch. Birdie swings. Line drive right field. This baby is over. It's the 4th walk-off win of the season for the Marlins. John Birdie is the hero. And the Marlins walk off the Pirates 4-3 in 11.
Marlins take 3 out of 4 against the Pirates. They are 11 games over 500. It is June 26. 11 games over 500. They are headed to Boston now, where they will play their next 3 against the Red Sox.
Marlins attendance is up only 6% over last year.
It's up.
Come on.
Come on. 6%.
But is this overall, like in this season so far?
Okay, Felipe, what part of this sentence is difficult to understand? Marlins attendance is up 6% over last year.
Okay.
For the whole season.
Heat are done. Panthers are done. It's Marlins season. Let's go. Come on. Come on now. Sunday had a good crowd. I know it's a Sunday. That's when they get their good crowds, but come on now.
The good crowds? What they get, 13,000?
Listen, what do we always say about Miami fans? If they win, they'll show. They're winning. Let's go.
21-5 yesterday.
Whoa! Hey now.
For Marlins standards, I mean.
43,000 in Cincinnati, 21-5 in Miami. Hey now.
That was my second option, the Ellie cycle. But
Now, you could play that next segment. It's best call of the weekend. By the way, for the record, Rays attendance up 24% on the season, third biggest increase in baseball. Miller and Moulton.
Miller and Moulton here for the Clutch Vodka Play of the Day.
Mark, remember Nick Charles, Fred Hickman, the CNN Play of the Day?
Yeah, CNN did a nightly sports show. That was a while ago.
Yes, it was. Just work with me. Everyone liked the pod, the Play of the Day. So how about we have the Clutch Vodka Play of the Day?
Sounds good. Fun. Smooth. Like Clutch Vodka.
Listen weekday mornings for the Clutch Vodka Play of the Day.
That's Clutch with a K.
David Moulton for Napa, Napa Auto Parts, and Napa Filters. Insist on Napa Filters for your vehicles, or if you're a do-it-yourselfer, only buy Napa Filters. Napa has a filter for almost anything on earth that moves, whether it's motorcycles, foreign and domestic cars, vans, SUVs, earth-moving equipment. You get the idea. Napa Auto Parts, Napa Filters. Insist on them for your vehicles, or if you're do-it-yourselfer, only buy Napa Filters.
Located on the East Trail, locally owned Naples Tiki Bar and Grill is an outdoor eatery next to the Hitching Post Shopping Center. Island-inspired food with a true tiki theme. The best place in Naples to enjoy the beautiful weather in Southwest Florida. The Naples Tiki Bar and Grill offers a great menu for dine-in or takeout. Enjoy our famous pulled pork, huge burgers, and tiki bar cocktails. Don't miss happy hour every day from 3 to 6, and live music 7 days a week. See you soon at the Naples Tiki Bar and Grill, 11498 Tamiami Trail East.
Hello, friends and family of Southwest Florida. Are you looking to tap into the electric vehicle market? Well, look no further, because we here at Southwest Florida Golf Carts have just what you need. E-bikes, golf carts, LSVs, scooters, and more. Come down and talk with one of our experienced sales reps, have a soda and a smile, and you could be cruising the streets in your new EV today. Stop by the store or visit our website at flgolfcarts.com and enter for a chance to win $100 off your next purchase by answering John's monthly sports question.
You were listening to Miller and Moulton on the Florida Sports Network.
it was LSU that won. You want me to pick the opposing team from the Gators? Come on now.
You just go with the best call. You just go with what's the best radio.
Well, then, again, that's why I was close with the Ellie one, because that gave me chills. Like, that whole game gave me chills. They were down early. They came back. I mean,
KW, I hear you.
oh, yeah. Oh, yes. It's been a long time coming, you know. I've been a pretty loyal Marlins fan, I'd say. I've been around for the Justin Ruggiano days, you know. Emilio Bonifacio days. Oh, yeah, Jorge Cantu.
I do. Well, I do watch it occasionally, Ambien. I don't have much desire for the Chicago. The street racing thing does nothing. The road courses do nothing for me. Daughter told me yesterday she wants to go to a Rays game.
Well, you got to sit in the Randy section, don't you?
That's probably what's going to happen.
You saw the clip of him hiding a bunch of balls in his jersey and throwing into the fans.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, he's for the people.
Is he Morgan and Morgan?
No, they make a lot more than he does.
Welcome back to Miller and Moulton, only on the Florida Sports Network.
"22 minutes before the hour, Miller and Moulton, Florida Sports Network, floridasportsnetwork.com. Kevin Brockway, an hour from now, live from Omaha. Gators and LSU for the College Baseball National Championship. This would be Florida's third national championship of the year. Men's golf, men's track and field. They finished second in women's track and field and gymnastics. So this will be the fifth time that they've had a team finish either first or second. Of course, in Gator Nation.
That's close to the same number of football wins they had last year.
Hello. Since that's all really Gator fans care about, it's, but the rest of the athletic department doing it pretty darn well. It's just football, basketball thing seems to be slowing the whole program down. Anyway, Pro Football Focus. You buy them at all? You believe them? You like them?
I don't subscribe to it. I don't pay for the service, but I do think that there is a little bit of value to what they do in terms of the offensive lineman defense. I mean, there has to be some value to what they're doing. Too many people are buying into it unless they just have great PR. But I do like the fact that they're trying to put some data on positions that we haven't had before.
So they came out yesterday with their power rankings. So this is obviously very analytically based. This is all based on, basically ranking all the players. You got the 14th right tackle out of, 63 and, keep on going. All right. Chiefs number 1, Eagles 2, 49ers, Bengals, Bills. That's everybody's top 5. Top 5 teams in football, right? I mean, we're all going to agree based on the last couple of years and the rosters and what have you, that you got the Eagles and the Niners in the NFC, and you got the Chiefs, Bengals, Bills in the AFC, right?
Right.
Okay. Jets 6. Cowboys 7. Chargers 8. If that's not interesting enough, here's where things get really interesting to me. Browns 9th.
Ooh.
Yes. Mm-hmm. Right. Ravens 10. So first off, 3 of the top 10 teams in the AFC North. Thank you very much. Dolphins 11. 3 of the top 11 in the AFC East. Thank you very much. Jags 12th. Lions only 15th. And in the NFC, ranked behind the Giants and the Vikings. Yeah, I'd take the Lions roster over the Giants, and I'm a Giants fan. I would take the Lions roster over the Giants roster.
Would you take it over the Vikings roster?
I think I would. Also because of the direction the Lions rosters go, or the Vikings rosters going, and the Lions roster for that matter. I mean, I think they're 2 cars passing each other on the roadway. even though the Vikings finished 4 games ahead of them last year. So Giants 13, Vikings 14, Lions 15. Here's what may surprise you also. Tampa Bay came in 21. They have the Bucs rated ahead of 11 teams in the NFL. By the way, they have them ranked ahead of all 3 NFC South teams. They have the Saints 26, the Falcons 27, the Panthers 28th. Do you look at Tampa Bay's roster right now and go, oh, yeah, that's the best roster in the division?
Not even close. I think that now, if they would have had them 25, 26, 27, and 28, if you know what I mean, but to have them, 5 spots ahead of the next team in their division, I don't think that their rosters, I think all 4 rosters are really similar in that division, David. I don't know if there's a good one amongst them.
By the way, Bears ranked 19th. They have the Bears ahead of 13 teams in the NFL. Although I do want to say this on the record. I actually believe in Justin Fields. He's had 2 different head coaches, 2 different coordinators, and I would argue the worst offensive line and skill players around him in the last 2 years. And they're starting to put a representative team around him. For all the people that defended Daniel Jones going, wow, the Giants were a mess and blah, 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 blah. Yeah, let me tell you, the Giants look like a well-oiled machine around Daniel Jones compared to what Justin Fields has been playing with for 2 years.
I'm just curious, where do they have the Green Bay Packers on that list?
18th. 1 spot behind the Steelers. So Lions 15, Packers 18, Bears 19, Vikings 14. 14, 15, 18, and 19 is that whole division.
Pro Football Focus is saying that division's a lot closer than everybody's making it out to be, and don't sleep on the Green Bay Packers.
Correct. By the way, Patriots 20th. So, 3 of the top 11 are in the AFC East, and then there's New England.
I think that's being really generous with the Patriots roster.
Okay. I'm going to say something else that, could come back to bite me. There's usually, Mark, 1 team every year that goes from worst to first. So if you looked at the 8 last place teams last year, you go Washington, you go Chicago, you go Atlanta, and you go Arizona, I believe, right? They were worse than the Rams. And then you went the Jets, ironically. And then you went the Browns. And then you went the Texans. And then you went the Raiders, right? Raiders or Broncos. But anyway. So if you're looking at teams that, maybe were last place last year who actually could be decent this year, remember, Washington was 8-1. That's not a normal last place team. What if Sam Howell can play? What if Sam Howell, and I don't crush him, I'm not saying he's this guy, but remember, there was another team that drafted a quarterback, sat him for all but the final game of his rookie season, and then put him in the lineup year 2. That team and quarterback was Kansas City and Patrick Mahomes. But I'll even go back 20 plus years. Denny Green sat Dante Culpepper for a whole year. He ran the scout team for a year. And then he gave him the ball for year 2 and said, go play, young lad. And he took him to the NFC Championship game. What if Sam Howell, now granted, all those guys that I've mentioned were first-round picks at quarterback. Sam Howell was a 5th rounder. But, Mark, what if Sam Howell can play? They went 8-1. How would you describe Washington's quarterback play last year?
Terrible.
And they managed to not be below 500. So what if Sam Howell's, I'm just decent. What if he's above average?
All right. You're going to get mad at me here. But we could say these teams all tied for second, or we could say these teams all tied for last, because if you look at the NFC South, the Panthers, Saints, and Falcons all had a 7-10 record.
Gotcha. I think technically Atlanta drafted first, so I went with them. But
No, you're right. You're right. By order, it's Carolina, the Saints, and the Falcons. That's how the tiebreakers came about. But they all technically had the same record. So I think it's safe to say the worst for first comes from the NFC South. But that's semantics.
By the way, Rams 30th. Talk about being written off. A year ago at this time, they were the defending Super Bowl champions.
And they were banged up last year and sat everybody for the last 4 weeks of the season, it seemed.
Now, they have lost guys from when they won the Super Bowl. There's no question about that. Odell, Von Miller, Woods, both two Woodses. I mean, no, they've lost guys. And obviously, Stafford coming off a major injury. We wondered how motivated Donald is. Cooper Kupp, a lot of wear and tear on those tires. The veteran left tackle Whitworth retired after the Super Bowl. They haven't adequately replaced him. We all know their roster is not nearly what it was 2 years ago.
So they have the Rams only better than who? The Cardinals and the Texans?
Thank you. They have the Colts better than the Rams. They have the three teams they have the whole NFC South. Right now, you could have the Rams roster or you could have one of the four teams in the NFC South. Who would you take? By the way, the head coach comes with the roster.
Well, the head coach, and because of the quarterback, I'll take the Rams. And Aaron Donald's still up there as far as best defensive players in the game, right? Last time I checked.
If he's breathing, the answer is yes.
Okay. I like where I start with this team.
Also interesting, they have the Seahawks at 16th. They won 9 games last year, went to the playoffs. I actually think their roster's better this year than last year. You got half the league essentially better than them?
I think they've got Seattle about right.
Okay, you do?
I think they overachieved last year.
Okay.
Do you expect Geno Smith to have that kind of year again?
I don't expect him to be terrible. I think when you've played 10 years
he played Pro Bowl like football last year.
Well, he's got 2 really good wide receivers, and they just added a third.
And a good running back.
Yeah, and they've got 2 of them. And they drafted 3 starters in the last 2 years in the draft on the offensive line. If Geno's pretty good, hey, why did Detroit come pretty good all of a sudden? Because Jared Goff went back to being a pretty good quarterback.
It helps that he has maybe the best offensive line in football.
Yes, it does. So, Denver 23rd, by the way. Russell Wilson in that roster and Sean Payton 23rd. So, but once again, you got the big 5, the fabulous 5, if you will. We all know who they are. Jets 6, Cowboys 7, Chargers 8. My goodness, can you pick 3 organizations who underachieve consistently more than them? Well, maybe Cleveland 9. Wow.
That's setting up the Browns right there. That's just what the Browns need to see. That they're a top 10 roster in the league.
The other thing, Mark, is according to Pro Football Focus, the Dolphins are only the 8th best team in the AFC. They're the 11th best team in the league, but only the 8th best team in the AFC. Eagles, Niners, Cowboys. Only NFC teams that crack the top 12. According to Pro Football Focus.
Where are the Steelers on the list? You're high on the Steelers this year.
17.
Seems about right.
Yeah, I think the Steelers make the playoffs. I think there's a chance for 3 playoff teams in the AFC North. The AFC North got a really soft schedule draw. Not as soft as the AFC South, but most of the AFC South sucks, so they can't take advantage of it. It's why Jacksonville has a chance to be a really high seed. If they take the next step, if Trevor and company progress or pick up where they left off, remember, then Jacksonville's got a chance to do what Tennessee did a year ago and be the 1 seed.
And that's not a joke. We've talked about this for a month and a half now since the schedules have come out. The Jacksonville's in a great position. Now they've got to back it up.
Yeah. But also all the tough teams on their schedule are either home or London. All the first place teams that they play, including the Niners, they get them all at home or in London. They don't play any of them on the road. Cincy, Kansas City, Buffalo, San Francisco, they play them all either home or in London. So, Pro Football Focus, if you're into analytics, if you're somebody when you watch Sunday Night Football, because NBC, Collinsworth owns part of Pro Football Focus. So they use the PFF rankings on their graphics, and he talks about it all the time. Not that there's a conflict of interest there. But if you buy it, if you're into Pro Football Focus, there you go. June 25th, yesterday, they came out. This is their power rankings in the NFL. Dolphins, 11th best team in the league, only the 8th best team in the AFC. Won't make the playoffs, according to Pro Football Focus.
But the Bucs will win their division, according to Pro Football Focus.
Absolutely. Best team in the South. And apparently better than 11 other teams. Which I thought was only possible if they put USFL and XFL teams in the list.
Hey now. Miller and Moulton, thanks so much for listening. A little NFL talk. Never a bad time for that. Right here on the Florida Sports Network.
Visit Jason and Todd at the Diamond District.
We declared our independence in 1776 and have been celebrating the 4th of July with concerts, parades, fireworks, and new sunglasses ever since.
Todd, I'm not sure they had sunglasses back then, but let's go with that since the Diamond District can't have a concert, parade, or fireworks in the store and want to celebrate. So this 4th of July, with a purchase of $500 or more, you'll receive free Bose audio sunglasses.
That's right. With any purchase of $500 or more, now through the 4th of July, the Diamond District will give you free Bose audio sunglasses. Listen to your favorite music by the pool, while running, or walking the beach.
Visit the Diamond District now through the 4th of July for your free Bose audio sunglasses with purchase of $500 or more. Only at the Diamond District.
Visit Jason and Todd at the Diamond District.
David Moulton for Napa Auto Parts, and Napa Filters. Insist on Napa filters for your vehicles, or if you're a do-it-yourselfer, only buy Napa filters. Napa has a filter for almost anything on earth that moves, whether it's motorcycles, foreign and domestic cars, vans, SUVs, earth-moving equipment. You get the idea. Napa Auto Parts, Napa filters. Insist on them for your vehicles, or if you're do-it-yourselfer, only buy Napa filters.
Hello, friends and family of Southwest Florida. Are you looking to tap into the electric vehicle market? Well, look no further, because we here at Southwest Florida Golf Carts have just what you need. E-bikes, golf carts, LSVs, scooters, and more. Come down and talk with one of our experienced sales reps, have a soda and a smile, and you could be cruising the streets in your new EV today. Stop by the store or visit our website at flgolfcarts.com and enter for a chance to win $100 off your next purchase by answering John's monthly sports question.
Ladies and gentlemen, once again.
Hi. Excuse me.
Hey, the line starts back here. Ma'am, if your party's not here, you're going to have to go around again.
If you had the opportunity to avoid all this, wouldn't you?
Salt Live is the official transportation provider of the Miller and Moulton Morning Show, making your trip to and from the airport seamless and stress-free. Salt Live is supported with the help of local partners like the Bayfront Inn. Gather your family and friends and enjoy a leisurely day on the water with a pontoon or deck boat. If you prefer to explore the waterways without a motor, the Bayfront has canoes, standboards, and kayaks. At the end of your journey, enjoy lunch or dinner at the Bamboo Tropical Bar and Grill. The Bayfront Inn, something for everyone on 5th Avenue in downtown Naples. BayfrontInNaples.com. When you need a ride, book with Salt Live Transportation, 308-8686, or book on saltlivetransportation.com.
You are listening to Miller and Moulton on the Florida Sports Network.
team is going to have a lot of scoring opportunities. De La Cruz, right center. Down base hit. Could he go free? India around third. India scores. It's a cycle. This rookie in 2 weeks in the big leagues posts the first cycle for a Red since 1989. Ellie Mania.
I think the Broncos are a bottom third roster, Ambien.
I don't, because I think they're better than half the NFC. But the problem is, where do they rank in the AFC?
Underrated RCB? No. No. I think they're rated about right.
Do you know how many times the Bucs had the lead going to the fourth quarter last year, RCB? How many times did the Bucs have the lead going to the fourth quarter last year? They finished 8-9. They had the lead 4 times going to the fourth quarter last year. 4. Only one team in the league had the lead fewer times. Arizona, who, by the way, had the lead on Tampa Bay going to the fourth quarter. So Brady pulled an 8-9 season out of an absolute grease fire. I don't think the roster's as good as it was a year ago. And it's certainly not as good at quarterback.
Got a Gator fan, Matt, tweeted at me. He was mad at me because I made a dig on their football team. The national championship thing. And I said, that's about the same number of wins they had last year. It reminded me that it was 6 wins, by the way. I know.
You did say it was almost.
Yeah.
Right.
Then how many wins did your Spartans have last year? 1 less than that. They suck. But our whole world doesn't revolve around our football team.
No.
Oof.
You are listening to Miller and Moulton, exclusively on the Florida Sports Network. And now here's Mark Miller and David Moulton.
It is the third and final hour of Miller and Moulton, at least along the network in Lake City and surrounding areas, Tampa, St. Pete, Port Charlotte, and Venice. We're just halfway home in the 239 Miller and Moulton, Florida Sports Network, floridasportsnetwork.com. Kevin Brockway to join us live from Omaha in a little over 35 minutes time. Gators and LSU for the college baseball national championship tonight. Florida looking for their second ever title. They won it 6 years ago. LSU looking for number 7. But their last title was in 2009. This will be the 4th straight SEC national championship in baseball. Vandy, Mississippi State, and Ole Miss have won the last 3. 7 o'clock on the 4-letter network tonight. If you are so interested, Kevin Brockway, once again, in a little over 35 minutes time. Mark, we were talking a little football there, and you commented as we went to break, never a bad time to talk football.
Never is, David.
Magic number 61, 66, 73, excuse me. 61 days away from week 0, 66 days away from the beginning of the first weekend of the college football season. Gators and UCF in action, 9 weeks from Thursday. And Lions and Chiefs, 10 weeks from Thursday, 73 days away. Those are the magic numbers. But we just went through Pro Football Focus and how they, very analytically, obviously, how they rank the teams this year, 1 through 32. I'm going to throw a few factoids at you, and you tell me if you think this means anything. You know, like we tried desperately, particularly with the National Football League, a little bit with college, but desperately with the National Football League, how dramatically things can change one year to the next. And if a team could just, I don't know, learn how to win or stay healthy or get a little bit better quarterback play, ... Mark, do you know the Tennessee Titans only trailed 4 times going to the fourth quarter last year? Their record after 3 quarters last year was 11-4-2. They finished 7-10. Now, you could say, yeah, so what? You know, the fourth quarter is the money quarter. Yeah, I get it.
And they didn't get great quarterback play last year. They didn't have the receivers, and they couldn't score. I mean, they were a bad scoring team a year ago. So when the fourth quarter came and defenses were out of gas, Tennessee couldn't keep up with the rest of the league offensively, and that's where they lost football games.
And so you may just say, no, actually, David, that proves to me they're a bad team. Well, okay. I mean, it's the old adage, statistic, you look at stats long enough, they tell you what it is you want them to say.
I mean, because they only outscored on the season last year, the Colts, the Texans, the Broncos, and the Jets in the AFC.
Well, Derrick Henry was hurt for most of the last half of the season, and because of it, and they traded away A.J. Brown.
Right.
Ryan Tannehill all of a sudden wasn't as effective. Imagine that. Mark, out of 17 games, do you know how many times the Ravens trailed after 3 quarters?
I'm guessing that's a pretty low number as well.
3. The Baltimore Ravens trailed 3 times going to the fourth quarter last year. They were 12-3-2 if the games were stopped after 3 quarters. Ravens were in position to win a lot of games. A lot of games. Titans were in position to win a lot of games. Meanwhile, one of the reasons why I'm not nearly as high on these 2 teams this year as last, Vikings won 13 games a year ago. Mark, you know how many times they led going to the fourth quarter last year?
9.
Lower. 7. Think about that. Basically, half their wins.
Kirk Cousins, baby.
But he sucks. He sucks. He sucks. Man, we got to get rid of him. Don't look at the numbers. Whatever you do, don't look at the numbers. Because if another quarterback had that kind of record, man, they'd say, you know, he should have gotten some MVP votes. Mark, the Giants, how many times did they have the lead going to the fourth quarter last year?
Oh, I would say 6.
There you go. Bing, 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 bing. Ended up with 9 wins and a tie. Uh-huh. By the way, you could take this either way. I would take it to be a very negative stat for the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. Mark, how many times did the Tampa Bay Buccaneers have the lead going to the fourth quarter last year?
8 wins on the season.
Mm-hmm.
Based on your question,
mm-hmm.
I'm going to say 10.
Oh, no. No, you need to go the other way.
Oh, really?
Oh, yes, Mark.
So Tom Brady pulled
winning the worst division in football out of the biggest grease fire of his career.
So 4?
Bingo. The Tampa Bay Buccaneers had the lead 4 times going to the fourth quarter last year and finished 8-9.
Well, what you're saying, Baker, is you've got your work cut out for you.
I'm saying if you believe the Bucs are better, good. They're going to need to be. That, now, listen, you could point this out. I don't know if you hear this and you go, this is the dumbest stat of all the stats you've ever brought up on the show. Or if you think it actually paints a picture, tells a story about the overall talent level of the team, strengths and weaknesses of the team, etc. Why I would not be as excited if I were a Vikings and Giants fan this year. Yes, I think the Giants roster is better than last year, but I don't know how they could be better coached than they were last year. That was a 6-11 roster and team last year. They went 9-7 and won a playoff game. I don't know that Brian Dable does as good a job coaching this year. Don't know how it's now the better roster, and the Giants actually had a lot of injuries last year, but they also have a much tougher schedule this year. Much. And they pulled a lot of wins out of their bleep last year. And so did the Bucs. I mean, Mark, Carolina only trailed 6 times last year. Tampa Bay only led 4. Carolina only trailed 6. They were losing 6 times. They were tied 4 others. They lost every game they were not leading in going to the fourth quarter last year. If you had just frozen teams' records after 3 quarters last year, Carolina makes the playoffs as the 6th seed in the NFC.
And they were the opposite of Tennessee. They couldn't stop anybody late last year.
By the way, the Saints only trailed 6 times going to the fourth quarter last year. Only trailed 6 times. They finished 7-10. So that's why, if they get anything out of Michael Thomas, if Alvin Kamara can stay on the field, if Carr is just an upgrade over Dalton, it's why a lot of people are picking the Saints this year in the South. I mean, Mark, if the Saints hadn't blown that Monday nighter in Tampa when they led by 13 mid-fourth, the Saints win the division. By the way, the Bengals only led 8 times going to the fourth quarter last year. So even Joe Burrow, now, the Bengals think their head coach has come out and said, this is the best roster we've had since I've been here. Okay. And we think the AFC North teams have a little bit of a scheduling edge. Look at who their crossovers are, certainly in comparison to the AFC East. I mean, I'd much rather have the Bengals schedule than the Bills.
Oh, without question.
But it also goes to show that, Joe pulled a little magic last year. By the way, you know how many times the Cowboys trailed going to the fourth quarter last year? 4.
So wait a minute. They trailed 4 times. Dak Prescott letting lead slip. Kirk Cousins
only led 7, and they had 13 wins, right? But just so you know, there's only 3 teams in the league who had the lead going to the fourth more than the Cowboys. Those that believe the Cowboys are close, and goodness knows Jera and Mike McCarthy are 2 of the biggest believers out there, but those that believe the Cowboys are close, there's a lot of numbers. There's a lot of analytics that say that they really are. Now, let's see if, with the pressure on everybody this year, I mean, the 80-year-old owner has said, this is make it happen year. Okay.
I don't know if that quarterback's good enough.
In that conference, do you have to be? By the way, Buffalo is the team that trailed the fewest times going to the fourth quarter. They only trailed twice. Now, granted, they only played 16 games because the Bengals-Bills game got canceled. Okay. But of the 16 games that they played, they only trailed going to the fourth quarter twice. Eagles and Ravens were the two teams that only trailed 3 times. Now, this could be the dumbest stat in the world. Or you think it could tell you a story, paint a picture as to either how good or how bad, how fortunate or how unlucky a team was a year ago.
I think that's what it really comes down to, is the teams that might have been a little bit unfortunate, a little bit lucky, and was one side of the ball not taken care of. Because like Tennessee, if you're blowing a lot of leads late, well, that defense allowed a lot of points, but was that on them or was that on the fact that the offense couldn't produce anything? You talked about the Saints. They couldn't produce much last year.
Now, I'm high on the Steelers. There's a stat here that says maybe I shouldn't be. The Steelers kind of pulled the 9-8 season out of their beep, beep. You know how many times the Steelers led going to the fourth quarter last year? 6. It's also a good reflection on their young quarterback, isn't it?
Very mature, David. He got married over the weekend.
Well, just good. Congratulations. We're so excited.
What are you thinking? Starting quarterback for the Steelers, man.
Come on. It's just like what? They meet in
College
college?
sweetheart. Yeah.
College sweetheart. Yeah, she was with him on the draft.
Exactly.
He cried. So he's got the sensitive side.
That's important. Not in Pittsburgh, but it's important. Miller and Moulton, thanks for listening right here on the Florida Sports Network.
David Moulton for Napa, Napa Auto Parts, and Napa Filters. Insist on Napa filters for your vehicles, or if you're a do-it-yourselfer, only buy Napa filters. Napa has a filter for almost anything on earth that moves, whether it's motorcycles, foreign and domestic cars, vans, SUVs, earth-moving equipment. You get the idea. Napa Auto Parts, Napa filters. Insist on them for your vehicles, or if you're do-it-yourselfer, only buy Napa filters.
Visit Jason and Todd at the Diamond District.
While talking with my friends Jason and Todd with the Diamond District, the 4th of July came up, and Todd was like,
Jason, the Diamond District is celebrating 20 years in business. Let's give something away for free this 4th of July.
Then Jason, with that aha look on his face, said,
Todd, I had the perfect idea. I was wearing my Bose audio sunglasses at the pool the other day and loved the feel, the look, and the sound. Let's do this. With a purchase of $500 or more, we'll give a pair of these sweet sounding shades away.
It didn't take Todd long to agree.
Jason, you're brilliant. Who wouldn't want Bose audio sunglasses? And for a purchase of $500 or more, it's a no-brainer.
It is a no-brainer. Now through the 4th of July, free Bose audio sunglasses with your purchase of $500 or more from the Diamond District.
Visit Jason and Todd at the Diamond District.
Hello, friends and family of Southwest Florida. Are you looking to tap into the electric vehicle market? Well, look no further, because we here at Southwest Florida Golf Carts have just what you need. E-bikes, golf carts, LSVs, scooters, and more. Come down and talk with one of our experienced sales reps, have a soda and a smile, and you could be cruising the streets in your new EV today. Stop by the store or visit our website at flgolfcarts.com and enter for a chance to win $100 off your next purchase by answering John's monthly sports question.
You were listening to Miller and Moulton on the Florida Sports Network. It is a nickname. It's not a real name. His real name is Landon. But he goes by Happy. Good story, though, KW.
Do a little Wander Franco here.
Sure.
Oh, Sonny, I didn't watch any of the Travelers yesterday. But I did watch a decent amount of the LPGA. Baltusrol looked great. It's been wet in the Northeast, so it is green. Yeah, I would have loved to have seen if she had made that birdie on 15 to tie for the lead. Pretty easy putt, too.
Ten seconds.
Welcome back to Miller and Moulton, only on the Florida Sports Network.
"21 minutes past the hour. Miller and Moulton, Florida Sports Network, floridasportsnetwork.com. Kevin Brockway in a little more than 15 minutes time, live from Omaha. Florida LSU tonight, 7 o'clock, ESPN for the college baseball national championship. LSU won an extra inning Saturday. Gators won 24-4. Thank you very much. Yesterday, the deciding game 3 tonight. By the way, the game 2 winners have fared a little better recently heading to game 3 than the game 1 winners. What does that mean? Absolutely nothing. Just thought I'd throw it out there, though. How often did you get grounded as a kid?
One time. Once.
Really? That's it?
I drove my mother so crazy on the one day that I was grounded. In fact, I wasn't even grounded. I was grounded for a week. It lasted less than 4 hours.
Wow.
For the most part, I mean, I was an only kid. My parents both worked. It was hard to get grounded. It wasn't like I was home to get in trouble because they weren't there. I was a latchkey kid.
Right.
So that's part of it, A. But the second part of it is that and I don't even remember what I got in trouble for, but she grounded me for a week.
It's a long time.
Right. And then here comes and she grounded me like on a Friday night. So Saturday comes and I'm pestering her.
Sure.
And I don't remember what it was, but by about noon, she just looked at me and told me to get the hell out of the house and go away.
There you go.
That was the end of the grounding.
Good job by
I think
you.
4 hours it lasted.
I ask because Wander Franco got grounded for 2 days.
Yes, he did.
And this just in, he's not a 14-year-old kid. He's a Major League Baseball player and an all-star player at that. Arguably the best player on the Rays. You know, the best team in baseball. And he was publicly grounded also. You know, teams sometimes privately ground players and they cover. They said, nah, you know, a maintenance day, you know, needed a rest, you know, just needed to clear his head. That's one of my favorites. Who doesn't just need to clear their head? But no, Rays held Wander Franco out of the first 2 games of the 4-game series against Kansas City and let everybody know, oh, yeah, he ain't playing for at least 2 games.
Let
Why?
him know, let the team know after that, and then let the media know. Kind of in that exact order, actually.
Right. And when asked, oh, why has he been grounded? They basically said, oh, because he's been a horse's ass.
He's been being a brat.
Oh, and, you know, you start looking at the videotape and what have you. You know, he broke a bat in frustration. He didn't run out a couple of ground balls as hard as he should have. But apparently he yelled at a couple teammates in the dugout. And Kevin Cash and the Rays said, oh, we're going to change this right now. Mark, when you look at Kevin Cash, you don't think Eric Spoelstra and Udonis Haslem, but I think the Rays pulled a little heat culture on Wander Franco.
And by the sounds of it, he dealt with it pretty well. At least his comments following yesterday's games were on point. He did hit a home run, had a sac fly in his first game back after being benched for 2.
First, I mean, for those of us that like to stick our middle finger up in the air at authority occasionally, when you're grounded for 2 days and your first time back at the plate, you homer over the center field wall. Tell me that is not, even if the grounding is justified, tell me that is not the biggest middle finger back to the authority figure. Just ground my ass. I'll show you, you dumb blankety blank.
And of course, and you're right, David, first off, but the authority figure saying, see, I sent him out 2 games and see, now he's going to produce. What I did worked. And in the, and David, I'm on your side. I'm bringing up the counter argument, but I'm on your side 130% with what happened with that.
I mean, as he's rounding second and he's got that perfect angle to look into the Rays dugout as he's approaching third. Tell me he's not looking at Kevin Cash going, really? Really? How long you want to keep me out of the lineup? We're trying to win, right? Okay.
Baltimore's only 4.5 back.
2 in the loss column, by the way. Just so you know. Okay. I may be a horse's ass, but you know what? I'm a really talented horse's ass. I promise I'll stop yelling at players. Okay.
And I'll stop breaking bats and making temper tantrums.
Yeah. But you're going to have to suck it up a little bit on your end too, okay? Just saying.
Not having temper tantrums, I mean I won't have as many.
Right. I'll go in the clubhouse and, you know, just break some things with none of you around. So, yeah, grounded Thursday and Friday publicly. Embarrassed. I mean, the organization made sure to let everybody know, oh, he's been a blankety blank. Yeah, we got to get his head out of his you-know-what. He's got to start acting like a major league ball player. Zach Eflin, their 9-game winner. He, is trying to, mentor him. Talk to him. Say, hey, come on now. Long season. You're going to have a long career. Great player. And if you think about it, we've said it many times, and we're a couple of yahoos, but there is no sport, I would argue, in which you have to deal with failure on a regular basis more than baseball. The old joke, you fail 7 out of 10 times long enough, you go to the Hall of Fame. I mean, is there another sport in which you can do that?
Not even close.
I mean, golf is hard. We all know it. Golf's hard. And, look at Justin Thomas. Hell, last week he shot an 81, for goodness sakes. This week he shot a 60. Now, I know the courses weren't the same, but still, sports can be hard, mentally challenging.
But you don't fail nearly that much in even golf as you do in baseball.
No, well, if you do, you ain't making a living at it long.
You're not playing a lot of Saturdays, David. This just in.
Well, you are, but it's at your own country club. But I thought it was very interesting. They went the public route. They could have tried to conceal this. They could have. Oh, nah, he's been dealing with some soreness. They make him unavailable to the media. They could just say, well, he doesn't talk when he doesn't play. Okay. We were going to give him a day off anyway. He's been dealing with some soreness. We want to make sure when we put him back in the lineup, he stays in it. Come on, Mark. We all know how come on. We all know the lies.
But they chose to, again, first tell Franco that he's benched and why, then a team meeting to let the team know that they're benching him, and went right from the team meeting to Cash's pregame meeting with the press, in which he let everybody know right from the get-go, we're benching him, and here's why. We just asked for 6 seconds. We got 16 minutes.
Yeah.
If you know what I mean.
Right. So, he came back. He had 2 hits in his first game back, including a homer. They got beat. Not his fault. And yesterday, in the decisive 2-run 7th, he had a sac fly. They're still in first. Still the best team in baseball. 4.5 game lead on the Orioles, albeit 2 in the loss column. They're going through a little funk here the last 2 weeks. They played some bad teams, haven't done particularly well. I mean, split 2 4-game series with Oakland and Kansas City. Ouch. Think of all the good baseball they've played so far this year. They go 4-4 against the A's and Royals. What the heck?
Yeah, that's considered a funk.
Well, it is. So I just thought that was interesting. A public grounding. Why? He's being a jerk.
Being a jerk. That's it. Not even necessarily bad play. The way he's acting. David, how many times have we been told? It's not what you say. It's how you say it. And David, Wander Franco was not saying it very nicely to his teammates, among other things. Miller and Moulton, thanks for listening right here on the Florida Sports Network.
Visit Jason and Todd at the Diamond District.
We declared our independence in 1776 and have been celebrating the 4th of July with concerts, parades, fireworks, and new sunglasses ever since.
Todd, I'm not sure they had sunglasses back then, but let's go with that since the Diamond District can't have a concert, parade, or fireworks in the store and want to celebrate. So this 4th of July, with a purchase of $500 or more, you'll receive free Bose audio sunglasses.
That's right. With any purchase of $500 or more, now through the 4th of July, the Diamond District will give you free Bose audio sunglasses. Listen to your favorite music by the pool, while running, or walking the beach.
Visit the Diamond District now through the 4th of July for your free Bose audio sunglasses with purchase of $500 or more. Only at the Diamond District.
Visit Jason and Todd at the Diamond District.
Ladies and gentlemen.
Yeah. Hi. Excuse me.
Hey, the line starts back here.
Ma'am, if your party's not here, you're going to have to go around and get it.
If you had the opportunity to avoid all this, wouldn't you?
Salt Live is the official transportation provider of the Miller and Moulton Morning Show, making your trip to and from the airport seamless and stress-free. Salt Live is supported with the help of local partners like the Bayfront Inn. Gather your family and friends and enjoy a leisurely day on the water with a pontoon or deck boat. If you prefer to explore the waterways without a motor, the Bayfront has canoes, standboards, and kayaks. At the end of your journey, enjoy lunch or dinner at the Bamboo Tropical Bar and Grill. The Bayfront Inn, something for everyone on 5th Avenue in downtown Naples. BayfrontInNaples.com. When you need a ride, book with Salt Live Transportation, 308-8686, or book on saltlivetransportation.com.
You are listening to Miller and Moulton on the Florida Sports Network. So there's a little article I read here just on the Rocket Mortgage Tournament, David, about how well they've done drawing fans and this, that, and the other, and how they've, took the Buick Open and really blew it out of the water. This is such a great line. Let's be honest, there's a huge upside to the tournament being held in a real city instead of far-flung suburb. Yes, I'm talking about diversity. And the often overlooked group of people I'm talking about. That's right, Canadians. I've run into more of a few of our hardy neighbors who venture north from Windsor to enjoy PGA Tour golf and exotic foreign beers such as Michelob Ultra.
That's outstanding. That is outstanding.
That's good.
Hey, when's the NHL draft?
This week, Friday, I think. Oh, Wednesday, Thursday.
Where in Nashville? Where is it?
Yes. How do you know I haven't? Jason and Todd may get a few 9:21 segments, but not any 8:21 segments. I can see some Tuesdays when David's doing a Monday night game that I tell him to take the 9 o'clock hour off, and I do a 9, to Jason and Todd Sale and the good, the bad, and the ugly. I'll let them host the show if they pay enough money.
Yeah, totally. Remember, 10% off. Mention Miller and Moulton. 10% off.
Basically, if someone goes and spends $500, gets the glasses and the discount from us, they make no money on us. They spend a little more than that, they'll make money.
Do we
He's on,
have
let's go.
okay. Great.
Welcome back to Miller and Moulton, only on the Florida Sports Network.
$22 before the hour until our time is up in Lake City and surrounding areas, Tampa, St. Pete, Port Charlotte, and Venice. The bonus hour begins at the top of the hour. Miller and Moulton, Florida Sports Network, floridasportsnetwork.com. Kevin Brockway, kind enough to join us once again live from Omaha. He's there covering the Gators baseball team for the Gainesville Sun and also for Gannett statewide on the Gannett Florida Network. Follow Kevin on Twitter, Kevin Brockway G1, Kevin Brockway G1. Kevin, David, and Mark, hope Omaha continues to treat you well. How are you?
Yeah, it's been 12 days. I feel like I should set up residency here. It's been quite a stay, but that's what happens when you get to Game 3 of the College World Series Final.
Mark, is he going to be like those professional athletes? You spend enough time in town. He's going to have to pay Nebraska taxes.
He is. This can be a little tougher than you thought, Kevin. This could be another tax bracket for you. All right. Obviously, we know the Gators just crushed LSU in Game 2. Can they continue? I mean, not that type of production, but how confident should they be to continue the bats today?
Yeah, well, I think it should give them some confidence. We'll see what direction the wind is blowing. It seems like this north wind this weekend has certainly, caused the ball to fly a little bit out of the ballpark. And, Ty Evans, I mean, what more can you say on the run that he's on? 4 home runs. He had 2 yesterday. The grand slam was really big. And then from there, they just kind of poured it on. And I think that, it will be interesting to see how LSU deploys its pitching staff. They've been very close to the vest. We know Jack Caglione is going to start for Florida. LSU, they could go Grant Herring or Thatcher Hurd, but I would expect to see Paul Skeens at some point in the game if it's close and if there's a high leverage situation.
With the final being 24-4, it's tough to realize they were down 3-1 in the third, and they had not scored a ton of runs in Omaha, even though they were 3-1 and playing for the national championship. You know what I mean? I mean, it's good to see the lineup break through, Kevin, because they were only 6 innings away from wondering where the hell did the bats go.
Yeah, a fair point, but not many people were scoring runs at all. I mean, I think Florida actually had the highest run total, even in the College World Series before the 24-part F, and I think it was 6. So it's just like I said, the way the winds are here, the way it is a bigger ballpark, and the level of pitching, I think contributed to a lot of low scores. I mean, you look at that LSU Wake Forest game was 2-0 in 11 innings. I think it was just a situation where the combination of the wind blowing out and Florida really getting to LSU's bullpen early, and the back end of LSU's pitching has been a weakness. I seem to recall there was one game during the SEC regular season against Mississippi State where they were up by about 8 or 9 runs, and they ended up losing. I think they had like a 13-5 lead, and they ended up losing 14-13. So they have those moments where you get to certain pitchers in the bullpen in LSU, and you can really take advantage of it. So I think the key tonight for Florida is try to deliver that knockout blow again early so that, a guy like Skeens isn't a factor coming into the game.
And I think the other thing that it's hard to even think about when it's a 24-4 game, but was it bases loaded in the third for LSU that they got out of the inning? I mean, they did manage to have some pretty good defense to keep this game low in the early parts of the game yesterday.
Yeah, turn 2 double plays. Blake Purnell came in at a huge spot. It's 7-3 at that point. And Tommy White, who, slugged home runs in back-to-back games, one of the, country's leader in RBIs. I think he's second with 101 RBIs. He comes up with the bases loaded, and you're bringing in a guy in Blake Purnell who hasn't pitched the entire postseason. But he's a side armor. He gets ground balls. It really was a good move by Kevin O'Sullivan because he got Tommy White to, pound one into shortstop to get the double play to get out of the inning. The first 3 innings, LSU loaded the bases and really didn't get as much as they could have. They've been leaving a lot of guys on base, and you got to credit Florida's pitchers for working out of jams. That's a very patient LSU lineup too, and they foul off a lot of pitches, so they can really frustrate Florida's pitchers. And you look at this weekend series, and Sprode only lasted 4 innings, and Waldrop only lasted 2.1 innings, and Caglione in his last start had issues with control. That's going to be a key. If they can get any kind of length from Caglione, that would be big. But that being said, I think the biggest thing the 24-4 game did also was create a situation where, you had Purnell, you had, Ficarota, and then after that, you were able to rest Cade Fisher, you were able to rest Brandon Neely for the day, and not even use Ryan Slater. So I think they do have guys behind Caglione as well that can pick up the slack if he's struggling a little bit early.
Kevin Brockway covering the Gators in Omaha, Gainesville Sun, Gannett statewide. Follow him on Twitter, Kevin Brockway G1, Kevin Brockway G1. Caglione, a lefty. Don't know if you feel a righty or a lefty has a better matchup against this LSU lineup. But let's just say he gives them 4. Whatever. Gives up, 2 runs through 4. You think they would take that?
Yes, I do, because I think that Florida, can score some runs early in this game if they come out with the right mindset against, either Thatcher Hurd or Herring or the guys they have going. So, yeah, I think they would definitely – I think that's one of the keys for Caglione is just go out there and put, Florida in a position where they can have a lead going into the 56th inning and try to ride the bullpen out and hope the bullpen can close the door. I mean, this is the last game. I mean, you can extend guys. I would be surprised if Brandon Neely, tries to go 3 innings again today in a game like this because of it's for all the marbles. And he's your closer, and he's been pretty good throughout the course of the year. So I think that it's kind of an all hands on deck situation.
It sounds like a road game when you're watching at home. How much does it feel like a road game there in Omaha?
Yeah, very much so. I mean, the LSU fans just travel. I mean, they just are what they are. I mean, you've seen the Jello shot scoreboard, and but I did hear some. I think the key is to get on them early because again, yesterday you did hear some faint like it's great to be a Florida Gator chants because LSU fans were kind of quiet because of the run production and Kevin O'Sullivan. Kind of definitely said, during the week that, the crowd is not going to go out and have it bad and they're not going to throw a pitch. It's going to come down to how his team executes. And Florida's been in a lot of tough SEC road environments before. So, I don't think it's necessarily going to be easy with the crowd, but they've done it before in 2017 and look at a chance to do it again tonight.
So has LSU tipped their hand about their pitching at all? Skeens threw 120 pitches on Thursday night, 8 2-hit innings. I mean, just brilliant against the number 1 team in the country. He's expected to be a top 10 pick, maybe a top 5. All right. Have they tipped their hand at all? Is he available? They're going to use him back end. They're going to start him and see how long he can go.
Yeah, they really haven't. And, Jay Johnson mentioned there's a process they go through and they determine that on Monday, which is no fun for us because we want to know on Sunday afternoon, right? So, but apparently that's what they're going to do today. They're going to evaluate him, see how he feels. I mean, it is 3 days rest. He's thrown 240 pitches in 2 starts here. So you'd have to think, if you wanted to err on the side of caution, you wouldn't necessarily start him and see how long he can go for his future. But, the kid's probably a gamer. He probably wants to pitch. And I think it's going to be up to the adults in the room, Jay Johnson and the staff, to figure out, what would be a good course of action for him for his long-term future as well. Winning a championship is important, but I think it's good to do it with a deep team, and we'll see if LSU, puts the future of this kid in peril, or they decide to play for a championship.
48 hours ago in Game 1, Fisher and Neely both pitched over 3 innings, both threw over 50 pitches. A, do you think they're both available today? And B, if so, for how long?
Yeah, I think they are, and I think they'll go as long as they need them. But you're probably hoping, if you're Florida, that you get some legs out of Caglione, and maybe you use them just for 1 or 2 innings each. I think that's kind of the goal. But we'll see how it goes. But I think having Ryan Slater as that buffer will be pretty good too. To be able to go through some of the middle innings as well. And it's just going to depend on the flow of the game and how the game goes in terms of how long they're going to have to go.
Hey, Kevin, thanks for doing this. We know it's going to be a long day and evening. Safe travels back to Gainesville, and great job, not just for us, but what you've been doing for Gainesville Sun and Gannett. And we appreciate it. Enjoy tonight, a national title at stake.
Yeah, no, it's going to be it's going to really be something that's going to be exciting, and it'll be good to get back to Florida at some point.
Hopefully with the Natty. Thanks, Kevin.
Thank you.
Kevin Brockway, Gainesville Sun, and with Gannett statewide. Kevin Brockway OG, or Kevin Brockway G1. Sorry, Kevin Brockway G1.
He is an OG, though.
Really?
Well, with us.
Well, yes. I was going to say, I don't know if he's
way
ever
back with Miller and Moulton.
Darn right. Darn right. Hey, we meant to get this in just because it was so damn good, and we want to play it. And we're talking baseball after all. But, for as exciting as this is, a national championship at stake tonight, the most exciting baseball moment probably happened Friday night in Cincinnati.
Where are you going to go?
Well, apparently to the ballpark.
Because they sold out all weekend pretty much.
Yeah. Friday, Saturday, Sunday. They have like an 11-game winning streak going into Friday. Okay. They've got the hottest the number 1 prospect in baseball. De La Cruz plays for the Reds. He's been in the majors 2 weeks. 2 weeks. And he does this.
Team is going to have a lot of scoring opportunities. De La Cruz, right center. Down base hit. Could he go free? India around third. India scores. It's a cycle. This rookie in 2 weeks in the big leagues posts the first cycle for a Red since 1989. Ellie Mania.
Ellie De La Cruz, great call, because there was a runner on first. So you had the run score, and then De La Cruz turning the gapper into a triple to hit for the cycle.
He can fly.
Yes. Oh, man. Can he ever?
Can fly. Did you hear what Votto said?
No. Who, by the way, has
Votto
come off the injured list and seemingly homered in every game.
But Votto said, if we haven't seen speed out of someone like this since Mickey Mantle. He goes, that's not even fair to Ella to do that. But you tell me the switch hitter we've had with this speed come out since. I mean, that's a teammate. And he immediately apologized for making the comparison right after. But that's a guy we're really lucky to have him here in Cincinnati. I mean, when Joey Votto's singing those kind of praises, he's been around the game a while.
He's saying that about a 21-year-old.
When he was rounding the bases, I will say, although I hated the uniforms, the all black red. I'm sorry,
awful.
The Cincinnati
Reds. Even I'll admit how bad those jerseys were. Just terrible.
And that's Felipe saying it, because they're wearing those jerseys for Felipe's generation, and he thinks they're horrible.
Right, the Nike City Connect, but how could you miss that hard?
Anyway, I will say from a pure speed standpoint, since he plays for the Reds, I don't think they've had anybody round the bases like that since Dion. I mean, you had to admit Dion could run a little bit.
Just a bit.
Just a bit, yeah. Mm-hmm.
At 6'5", De La Cruz, he has those strides.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah, he can move.
So anyway, Eric Davis in 1989 had been the last Cincinnati Red to hit for the cycle. This kid's been in the majors 2 weeks. He did it.
2 weeks?
Yeah. It was awesome. There are certain crowd shots that fire you up, even if you have no rooting interest. It is so great to see a fan base that's had like one winning season in the last 8 years. And this has come out of nowhere, and they are just so blanking thrilled.
Well, and that game Friday night was just a nuts. All three were.
Yeah. I mean, they lost 7-6 both Saturday and Sunday. Both those games are crazy, too.
Right. 1-11-10.
That hit, by the way, I think scored the 11th run. That ended up being the game-winning hit. So, but anyway, the great call. Wanted to play it for you. Ellie De La Cruz.
With the cycle for the Reds and their win over the Braves on Friday, the Braves would win on Saturday and Sunday. But what a series between the two teams.
Remember, Arizona's in first, Cincinnati's in first. The Marlins are the number one wild card.
Absolutely crazy. Tampa, St. Pete, Lake City, Port Charlotte, and Venice. Thanks for doing this with us. We'll do it again tomorrow morning. The bonus hour. The Diamond District bonus hour is next in the 239. Thanks so much for listening right here. Miller and Moulton, where else but the Florida Sports Network?
David Moulton for Napa, Napa Auto Parts, and Napa Filters. Insist on Napa filters for your vehicles, or if you're a do-it-yourselfer, only buy Napa filters. Napa has a filter for almost anything on earth that moves, whether it's motorcycles, foreign and domestic cars, vans, SUVs, earth-moving equipment. You get the idea. Napa Auto Parts, Napa filters. Insist on them for your vehicles, or if you're a do-it-yourselfer, only buy Napa filters.
Visit Jason and Todd at the Diamond District.
While talking with my friends Jason and Todd with the Diamond District, the 4th of July came up, and Todd was like,
Jason, the Diamond District is celebrating 20 years in business. Let's give something away for free this 4th of July.
Then Jason, with that aha look on his face, said,
Todd, I had the perfect idea. I was wearing my Bose audio sunglasses at the pool the other day and loved the feel, the look, and the sound. Let's do this. With a purchase of $500 or more, we'll give a pair of these sweet sounding shades away.
It didn't take Todd long to agree.
Jason, you're brilliant. Who wouldn't want Bose audio sunglasses? And for a purchase of $500 or more, it's a no-brainer.
It is a no-brainer. Now through the 4th of July, free Bose audio sunglasses with your purchase of $500 or more from the Diamond District.
Visit Jason and Todd at the Diamond District.
Hello, friends and family of Southwest Florida. Are you looking to tap into the electric vehicle market? Well, look no further, because we here at Southwest Florida Golf Carts have just what you need. E-bikes, golf carts, LSVs, scooters, and more. Come down and talk with one of our experienced sales reps, have a soda and a smile, and you could be cruising the streets in your new EV today. Stop by the store or visit our website at flgolfcarts.com and enter for a chance to win $100 off your next purchase by answering John's monthly sports question.
Ladies and gentlemen, once again.
Hi. Excuse me.
Hey, the line starts back here.
Ma'am, if your party's not here, you're going to have to go around again.
If you had the opportunity to avoid all this, wouldn't you?
Salt Live is the official transportation provider of the Miller and Moulton Morning Show, making your trip to and from the airport seamless and stress-free. Salt Live is supported with the help of local partners like the Bayfront Inn. Gather your family and friends and enjoy a leisurely day on the water with a pontoon or deck boat. If you prefer to explore the waterways without a motor, the Bayfront has canoes, standboards, and kayaks. At the end of your journey, enjoy lunch or dinner at the Bamboo Tropical Bar and Grill. The Bayfront Inn, something for everyone on 5th Avenue in downtown Naples. BayfrontInNaples.com. When you need a ride, book with Salt Live Transportation, 308-8686, or book on saltlivetransportation.com.
You are listening to Miller and Moulton on the Florida Sports Network. You know, if you turn off the news for a little while and you read that there's almost a coup in Russia, it's kind of interesting. We need a good Russian coup.
Haven't had one in over 30 years. Mello, I like the sports science idea about how fast he is. Sonny, I can't believe you're quoting Marge or even referencing her.
Here we go.
You are listening to Miller and Moulton, exclusively on the Florida Sports Network. And now, here's Mark Miller and David Moulton.
It is the bonus hour. It is the Diamond District bonus hour. Huh? Miller and Moulton, Florida Sports Network. Thanks so much for being with us. They got a special going on this week, don't they?
Right. They're giving away these Bose stereo sunglasses. And if you spend $500, you get the sunglasses. But if you mention us, Miller and Moulton specifically, you get another 10% off.
Oh, that's not bad. Hell.
Felipe,
What
you're due to make a run for some jewelry for that lady of yours. You guys have been together a while.
Oh boy.
Should have seen the smirk on his face. It wasn't that smirk where I'm going to kill you. It was that smirk that you're onto something over there.
Oh,
Just, and she better not be listening. You're
Exactly.
killing me here.
Am I in the market?
Well, just you don't have to go big jewelry. You can go small jewelry. You can just I love you jewelry. And this just it works
every time.
Mark. It's his wife's birthday today. I'm sure you haven't visited Jason or Todd in I don't know 48, 72 hours.
Not for this birthday. Not that big.
Wow.
I work in radio.
Wow. You very rarely miss a chance to visit Jason and Todd.
That's true. That's true. It's kind of like Norm when I go in there.
Good sign for them, bad sign for you. Anyway, Metro Miller and Moulton get an additional 10% off. Say hi to our friends, Jason and Todd. We brought this up earlier in the show. We didn't go into it in great detail. I want to try to pin you down on this. So yesterday, June 25th, just in case you're not paying attention, not one, but two college basketball starters, one at Alabama, one at UCF, announced, I'm transferring. Now, there's nothing against it right now that says they couldn't do what they did. They're not breaking any rules. They're not having to sit out additional years. I think they're both graduate transfers. But I raised the question, and you and I are pro-athlete. We are pro the college athlete. We wanted them to get paid forever ago. Okay, we're for the transfer portal, no matter the chaos it's bringing. Please note, we are pro college athletes' rights. There is a part of me, though, that when I heard it, I went, really? June 25th? What the heck is a coach and a program supposed to do on June 25th? I mean, how many guys how do I replace you?
The other side is, how many scholarships are even available that are out there?
Exactly. Well, now, obviously, at Alabama and UCF, they got one. But so
and I'm guessing if the NIL money is enough in the transfer, you don't need the scholarship if it's not available for you at said school, if you're going to make, Miami Hurricane money to come in as a college basketball player.
Could be a preferred walk-on. Right. So I'm just wondering, though, like the only reason the kids at West Virginia, apparently, they were given when Huggins resigned as coach, it immediately kicked in. You got 30 days. You guys can get up and leave, no questions asked, within the rules. Now, one guy left over the weekend. Two others announced they're going to enter the portal, but when they promoted the interim guy who was on the staff, one of those two already said, oh, well, in that case, then I'm staying. So maybe West Virginia keeps a roster together. We'll see. But that was unique circumstance. The coach left. There's a rule in place. Coach leaves, you got 30 days.
David, I am all for, if we want to put in transfer windows, that's fine. I have no problem with it. They need to be pro-athlete, though. They don't need to be pro-coach in university and be a 2-week transfer window, because that's what the universities would want.
No. I'm just wondering, like, how about this? Like in the case of the Alabama kid, he's raising his hand saying, I'm a graduate transfer. I don't think he graduated. I think he had to complete a summer course, and he literally completed it a few days ago, and that's why he's now a graduate. That I don't think he was a graduate 7 weeks ago. I could be wrong, but that he's then raising his hand saying, now that I'm a graduate, I can be a graduate transfer. I can just get up and leave, no questions asked. What I'm wondering is, like, because FGCU had this happen to them 3 years ago, I think it was, Zach Johnson. Okay, he was not a graduate when the semester ended, but he had like 9 or 12 credits he still had to take. And he decided, I'm going to jam 2 summer sessions. I'm going to take 6 credits in each session, and I'm out of here, and I'm going to Miami. Larinaga wants me. I'm from Miami. It was a dream to go play for the Canes. And instead of spending my senior year at FGCU, I'm going to go play for the Canes. And so he jammed in the classes, and I think he got his degree in like late July or August, and then he just got up and left.
So there's nothing that can be done about graduate transfers.
Correct.
That those rules are what they are.
But Michael Fly, the coach at the time, knew. I mean, Zach told him in May. He said, listen, I know I could stay here and I'm eligible, but I'm actually I'm going to follow my dream and I'm going to go to Miami. And it was a bummer for Fly, obviously, in FGCU, and it really hurt him and them. Okay. And I think that's the only player to do that in FGCU's history, by the way. Okay. But Fly knew about it where he could have replaced the scholarship. It didn't become available until Zach officially graduated and left, but Zach at least gave Fly the notice. Fly knew 3 months before Zach could officially leave. And I'm just wondering, like, going forward, should anybody who's going to get their degree in summer school, do they have to publicly let it be known, listen, I'm transferring by May 15th, say. I'm transferring when I get my credits. I'm not going to get my credits till June 25th. Just wondering. Because it sounds like this is what Alabama, they're like, wait, what? We were kind of counting on you to be a starter.
And the other side of it is as the player, you don't know. 1, you could fail the class. 2, you could want to drop the class. It could be an overload of work, and you're like, I can't do this.
Right. But I'm just
wondering. I don't want to put the athlete in a position where they say they're transferring, can't get the classes in, and now they're left without a scholarship.
You mean you don't want to be in the position that San Diego State's currently in the Mountain West?
Correct.
Where they announced their...
Boy, what a great analogy. You are spot on, David.
Listen, I'm giving you my intention to leave. Well, then you're leaving. I didn't say that. I didn't say I'm leaving. I said I'm trying like hell to leave. This is not my 2 weeks notice. This is my intent to one day give you 2 weeks notice. So that's all. I'm just wondering, listen, you and I, we're pro the athlete, but more than 90+% of our listeners are. Always have been. But I'm just wondering in this case, when I saw this news yesterday, it's one of the few times in which I actually thought about the coach and the school, and I went, oh, man, this is kind of a bummer for them. How do you replace somebody at this late date?
And on the same note, it's why I was happy West Virginia hired the interim coach. Because they go out and try to, I know they would probably end up with, maybe they take a head coach from a mid-major, and then they disrupt that program as well. So I was kind of happy the way West Virginia went about their business.
Oh, I agree. Well, now I will say they tried. They hired a quick search firm. They called around for a week. Everybody said, it's late June. I can't leave my current job. Are you nuts? They all but said, hire him, the interim guy. I'll come in March, April at the latest, but I can't leave now. So that's what they're going to do. And now we're going to see if this guy could become the Texas guy. Remember, they got rid of what's his face, and the Texas guy turned the interim job into his job. Let's see if this guy can do it. But, just like we have recruiting periods,
right?
Do you think we should have they call it the transfer window. I mean, in theory, it's not a window. Doesn't stay open year round, does it?
Unless you're in San Diego.
Right.
Need perfect weather for that, David.
But I mean, aren't there 6 to 8 days even when you close the window? I mean, that's what I'm wondering. Is there a time in which you got to go, dude? You can't transfer on July 9th. What are you, nuts?
It'll probably happen. I would love to see there be a same type of window with coaching hires.
Well, in theory, don't you have 30 days though? Like if they give every kid 30 days, it doesn't matter when the coach leaves, right?
So I'm okay with the window as long as it's not incredibly restrictive to the player. My fear is that the NCAA would try to make it very restrictive on the player. Just like the NIL legislation that the initial reports that we saw from Congress was like, let's see how we can screw the player every way possible.
And of all the Tommy Tuberville, who got up from a dinner when he was head coach at Texas Tech and left to take the Cincinnati job. Left his dinner guests hanging and took the Cincinnati job. Literally, of all the people, it's remarkable that he's the one helping craft this legislation. You could argue he understands it. Oh, he understands it, all right.
He also understands how to stick it to the athlete because that's what he did over and over again.
Unbelievable. But that's all. I'm in favor of, to me, when I saw it June 25th, it felt a little too late. I'm like, oh, come on. What are they supposed to do now?
It's still college sports season. The college baseball World Series is tonight.
I know. I know. These kids
What
only
are the magic
graduated
numbers?
61, 66, and 73. That is true.
Tomorrow morning we'll be at 60 right when the college baseball season ends because it may not end before midnight tonight.
Not only that, every school in the country operates on a July 1st to June 30th budget. Hell, they're barely getting this baseball season in during the budget year. Hey, congratulations, your season's over. By the way, you graduated 7 weeks ago. Your stuff is in storage. But I don't know. I'm in favor of it just with you. I want it to be fairly liberal. I don't want to stick it to the athletes. June 25th does seem late to me. Miller and Moulton, Florida Sports Network.
David Moulton for Napa Auto Parts, and Napa Filters. Insist on Napa filters for your vehicles, or if you're a do-it-yourselfer, only buy Napa filters. Napa has a filter for almost anything on earth that moves, whether it's motorcycles, foreign and domestic cars, vans, SUVs, earth-moving equipment. You get the idea. Napa Auto Parts, Napa filters. Insist on them for your vehicles, or if you're a do-it-yourselfer, only buy Napa filters.
Visit Jason and Todd at the Diamond District.
We declared our independence in 1776 and have been celebrating the 4th of July with concerts, parades, fireworks, and new sunglasses ever since.
Todd, I'm not sure they had sunglasses back then, but let's go with that since the Diamond District can't have a concert, parade, or fireworks in the store and want to celebrate. So this 4th of July, with a purchase of $500 or more, you'll receive free Bose audio sunglasses.
That's right. With any purchase of $500 or more, now through the 4th of July, the Diamond District will give you free Bose audio sunglasses. Listen to your favorite music by the pool, while running, or walking the beach.
Visit the Diamond District now through the 4th of July for your free Bose audio sunglasses with purchase of $500 or more. Only at the Diamond District.
Visit Jason and Todd at the Diamond District.
Located on the East Trail, locally owned Naples Tiki Bar and Grill is an outdoor eatery next to the Hitching Post Shopping Center. Island-inspired food with a true tiki theme. The best place in Naples to enjoy the beautiful weather in Southwest Florida. The Naples Tiki Bar and Grill offers a great menu for dine-in or takeout. Enjoy our famous pulled pork, huge burgers, and tiki bar cocktails. Don't miss happy hour every day from 3 to 6 and live music 7 days a week. See you soon at the Naples Tiki Bar and Grill, 11498 Tamiami Trail East.
You are listening to Miller and Moulton on the Florida Sports Network.
See, the difference in this Russian thing is when they had the coup against Gorbachev. What was it? 90, 91?
Yeah.
There were all kinds of media in the country. You know, perestroika, openness, the whole deal. So we knew everything that was going on. Now, there's no one. There's like somebody posting video on Twitter and the Russian news agency. I mean, I am curious when we're going to see what's his face. I mean, at some point, don't you have to? If you're a dictator and they try a coup, don't you kind of have to reestablish you're still in charge? I mean, don't you got to show your face here soon?
Well, that's the interesting question, now, isn't it?
Are you waiting to kill the guy who tried the coup before you show your face? I mean, what is it you're waiting for? I love the fact somebody was tracking his private plane. When I saw that on Twitter last night, I laughed my ass off.
Putin's?
Like, yeah. Somebody tracked it to St. Petersburg. I mean, it's not like the news agency told us he was going to St. Petersburg. Somebody tracked his plane.
Wait, he was going to a Rays game? I'm kidding.
Well, but I laughed. I'm like, what is this, college football coaching carousel? That's when you know you've reached the big time. When 24/7 Sports is following you, Vladimir, you're big. I'm paying my bill. I lick the envelope. I have the stamp. There's nothing wrong with that. You can still pay cash for items too, where they let you.
So I'm a huge fan of Wally's Deli.
Okay.
Great little spot.
Mm-hmm.
Good food.
Mm-hmm.
They are cashless.
Really?
Cashless. One of the reasons that they cite for being cashless is that it takes too long to give change if people are all paying in cash versus credit cards. How dumb are your employees if they can't make change? And I don't consider their employees to be dumb.
They probably just they probably just want shorter lines.
It would
Once again, how can it take longer for you to enter a credit card, wait for it to go through authority, put a tip in, then have to add the tip on the back end?
I'm with you. There's just only one person taking orders. But I'm with you.
It's interesting. It would cause me not to go very often. And I'm using my credit cards more than I would.
It's the bonus hour of Miller and Moulton on the Florida Sports Network.
21 minutes past the hour. Thanks so much for being with us. It is the Diamond District bonus hour. They've got a special going on this week heading into the 4th of July holiday. Spend $500 or more. Get these beautiful, Bose sunglasses?
Yes. Bose audio sunglasses.
And mention Miller and Moulton, get an additional 10% off. Don't say we've never done anything for you, huh? And save you some money. The hell with the free t-shirt. We'll save you cash. Miller and Moulton.
Be nice if I just had a trunk full of free t-shirts and every once in a while if people are in a bad mood, you could just hand them out. I mean, not necessarily Miller and Moulton t-shirts either, just regular t-shirts. Here you go. I got a free t-shirt. You honked at me. I mean, whatever it takes. You would change morale of humankind by offering more free t-shirts, David. It's what we've learned.
So when somebody's asking for money from you, they're stopped at the four-way stop and they're down on their luck and they're asking for money. If you threw them a Miller and Moulton t-shirt, how do you think it would go over?
There'd be a lot of Miller and Moulton t-shirts laying on the ground at corners.
You don't think they'd go, oh, well, thanks. And they'd like, put it on, or you see them a couple days later in it.
If they did, it would be great advertising for us.
I agree. I'm just because listen, if my wife finds this out, she is probably just going to wring my neck. So listen, my wife's a flaming liberal. All right. It wants to save the world one person at a time. And, I've joked on Saturday, the Powerball Mega Millions combined were worth $770 million. And I said to my wife, I go, if we win these, it's almost enough to cover all the money you're going to give away. Almost. We're just about there. So my wife actually has, and my daughter does too. God, she's got the soul of my wife, which is awesome. Best person I've ever known. But they have these bags for homeless people and people that are down on their luck. Well, I don't know if they're homeless or not, but they're just looking for money. And apparently they've got, little items in them to help them with toiletries and I don't know, and $5 in the plastic little Ziploc thing. So some toiletry and some other stuff. I don't know what, because literally my wife said to me, I'm cleaning out the car. We went away on the family, vacay. And so I'm taking everything out of the car. And she says to me, leave the plastic stuff there on the back. Those are for the homeless people. Oh, why, of course. So there you have it. So literally we'll come up to a 4-way stop and my wife will say, reach over to the back seat and grab the thing. And so I, of course, am staring right into their eyes because I want to see the reaction when they're looking for $5-10.
Right.
Now they're going to get 5. They won't know that immediately. Their initial reaction is, I'm getting a toothbrush and what? And so, yes, Johnny Mac in our Twitch chat room, some people, dime bags. My wife gives away a nickel bag. Yes. Mm-hmm.
Got to be from the early 70s to reference to get that reference, but that's fantastic.
It is, Johnny Mac. Well done.
Fantastic.
Well played. So, anyway, so when you're talking about giving away the Miller and Moulton t-shirts, I'm like, well, it's not a t-shirt. In fact, I think the t-shirt would go over better. Try giving away little plastic Ziploc bags with some stuff to help you out and $5.
Maybe we throw a Miller Moulton t-shirt in there and then we're on our way.
Totally. Right. If you could fold one under it and say, here you go. And then they just let the bag fall to the ground and go, hey, look at the t-shirt, because everybody's fascinated by a free radio station t-shirt.
That's what we learned between my time with hockey teams and with radio stations. If you don't have a free t-shirt, you're not worth your weight.
Nope.
But if you can hand out a t-shirt.
Whoo-wee. Done. By the way, that guy who for 24 hours there was thinking about overthrowing Putin. That's probably what he needed leaving town. He probably needed to hand out t-shirts.
Who's with me? What's on the t-shirt?
Exactly. How about if he had channeled the red COO?
Where are you going to go?
Now, see, think about how spectacular those shirts would be.
In red, too.
Yep. Hell, and if he was really funny, he could channel his old CCCP days. But we digress. That's kind of back in the days of the nickel bag and dime bag. But so that's all. I think that's about all that guy was missing. I had the 25,000 troops, and he was, hauling all those kilometers right to Moscow. And apparently people were like, yeah, sure, fine, keep going, ole. Yeah, just keep going. We're not going to stand in your way. About the only thing he was missing though on his way back was t-shirts. Kind of like, hey, a little something for the effort here. Here you go.
As OK Music says, I came to start a revolution and all I got was this lousy T-shirt. Exactly.
Well, I mean, it's not like they were joining them on the streets. They were just letting them go. They weren't stopping them, but they weren't joining them. Honestly, can we just digress for a few minutes? Could you imagine the life that you're living over there, and you're sitting in your third story, whatever, and you're looking out your apartment window, and you're like, honey, like, no, the guy who's going to overthrow Putin, here he comes. Oh, look at him. Wow, they are hauling. Man.
You're going the wrong way.
Right. Wait, honey, holy blank. 2 hours. He's heading out of town. Why is he leaving? Where's he going? And by the way, where the hell's Putin? This guy never misses a TV. For goodness sakes, he's on TV more than the Kardashians. Where the hell is he?
So, yeah, that was a interesting 24, 36 hours.
You know, I never stop paying attention to world events. And I didn't watch TV all weekend until yesterday anyway. So
and then you find out you might have missed a coup.
I missed a coup, or at least an attempt at one. One that sounded like it had a chance to be successful. But he didn't want to be shooting other Russians, which is noble of him. I mean, for a mercenary killer. He wants to shoot Ukrainians, not Russians. Oh, okay. I understand.
But do you?
Please. I don't know if anybody understands what the hell's going on there. I don't know if the principals know the deal. You know what? What's a more confusing deal? Okay. The Wizards deal with the Warriors. Okay, or the deal that Putin and this guy made in a three-way with Belarus. Honestly, what's more confusing?
Well, anytime you get involved in a three-way with Belarus, things are not going to go well.
I know. Because Belarus is in bed for Putin. So I don't know why this guy's making a deal.
Nobody got a number 1 draft pick out of the whole thing.
I know. This guy stormed all the way to Moscow. Doesn't get a first-round pick out of the deal. Settles for all those pick swaps and second-rounders. You got to get a first-rounder if you're going all the way to Moscow.
And nothing in 2030 that's top 20 protected. I need something now.
Goodness sakes. Couldn't get a lottery pick out of this? I mean, for goodness sake, you try to overthrow a guy who's been in power over 20 years. Can't get a first-round pick out of the deal?
Miller and Moulton.
I mean, what did he get? Salary cap relief? I mean, seriously, what did he get out of this?
Load management, David. Load management. Miller and Moulton here for the Clutch Vodka Play of the Day.
Mark, remember Nick Charles, Fred Hickman, the CNN Play of the Day?
Yeah, CNN did a nightly sports show. That was a while ago.
Yes, it was. Just work with me. Everyone liked the pod, the Play of the Day. So how about we have the Clutch Vodka Play of the Day?
Sounds good. Fun. Smooth. Like Clutch Vodka.
Listen weekday mornings for the Clutch Vodka Play of the Day.
That's Clutch with a K.
Visit Jason and Todd at the Diamond District.
While talking with my friends Jason and Todd with the Diamond District, the 4th of July came up, and Todd was like,
Jason, the Diamond District is celebrating 20 years in business. Let's give something away for free this 4th of July.
Then Jason, with that aha look on his face, said,
Todd, I had the perfect idea. I was wearing my Bose audio sunglasses at the pool the other day and loved the feel, the look, and the sound. Let's do this. With a purchase of $500 or more, we'll give a pair of these sweet-sounding shades away.
It didn't take Todd long to agree.
Jason, you're brilliant. Who wouldn't want Bose audio sunglasses? And for a purchase of $500 or more, it's a no-brainer.
It is a no-brainer. Now through the 4th of July, free Bose audio sunglasses with your purchase of $500 or more from the Diamond District.
Visit Jason and Todd at the Diamond District.
The waterways of Naples are a beauty to behold, and the Bayfront Inn has multiple ways for guests to enjoy the water and have some fun. Gather your family and friends and enjoy a leisurely day on the water with a pontoon or deck boat. If you prefer to explore the waterways without a motor, the Bayfront has canoes, standboards, and kayaks. At the end of your journey, enjoy lunch or dinner at the Bamboo Tropical Bar and Grill. The Bayfront Inn. Something for everyone. On 5th Avenue in Naples.
You are listening to Miller and Moulton on the Florida Sports Network.
Before you start, can I read something?
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay. The four-letter calls who?
You're listening to Miller and Moulton, exclusively on the Florida Sports Network.
22 minutes until the top of the hour, 16 until we're out of here. Miller and Moulton here on the Florida Sports Network. This hour of Miller and Moulton is what we call the bonus hour, but it's the Diamond District bonus hour this week, leading into the 4th of July holiday. They got a hell of a deal going on. Spend $500 or more. You get these Bose sunglasses. Mention Miller and Moulton, get an additional 10% off. I mean, we're not good for much, so use us when you can.
Very little.
Save some money just by mentioning our name. I mean, you can even say Miller and Moulton suck. That's okay. Miller and Moulton, 10% off. I mean, I hope that's not how you feel, but whatever you got to do.
Say what you want to say. Just say Miller and Moulton. That's all we're asking for.
Yeah, really. You can put an expletive in front of Miller and Moulton if you want.
Still get the 10%.
Exactly. Hell, if you get somebody who agrees with you, maybe they'll even give you more. Who knows? So I had not seen this. If this has been out there, my apologies. Correct me. Stop me. Apparently, the Washington Post just sent this out. Greg Norman sent an email to LIV staff on Friday. Quote, as we look ahead to the second half of this season and into 2024, especially with legal disputes behind us, I could not be more optimistic about the opportunities ahead. Our 2024 schedule is nearing completion, which will feature world-class venues, both familiar and new, continuing to bring out the very best in our players. As you know, we started from scratch. We had no players, venues, sponsors, broadcast partners, teams, or hospitality tents. What we did have, though, was an intense desire to do something that would forever contribute to professional golf. It is safe to say that together we've accomplished just that. In just 1 year, through 14 events in 8 countries on 4 continents, you have helped bring golf to a new generation of fans, with hundreds of millions in economic impact. In the process, you have exposed millions online, on television, in person, with recent record crowds in Adelaide, Tulsa, and Washington, D.C., to our new exciting brand of golf. Now, listen, you and I have been pretty open-minded about this compared to most everybody who listens to us. Very open-minded, in fact. We started from scratch. Greg, I love you. Technically true, but
the vault behind the scratch was pretty thick.
Does $1 billion or more count for or against the starting from scratch argument? I'm just asking for a friend. Also, the hundreds of millions in economic impact argument. Really?
Where?
I mean, Adelaide maybe made a few bucks for a few people. Maybe in Tulsa. I don't know. Made a few $1,000s for some people in D.C. But so don't get me wrong. I love the hopeful, pep talk message. I mean, it's a good thing for a CEO to do, I think. Hey, you guys are a part of something special. It's because of you this has happened. You're only going to make us bigger and better. Go team. I mean, you and I haven't been part of many of those. Have we?
No.
Okay. So, I applaud it. Hold on. I have a question going forward. What's your definition of scratch? Are we talking golfers or what?
Because it's like you started golf as a scratch handicap in this one.
Right. Yeah. In fact, I think you started as like a +9. We digress. So that's all.
You got to feel for Greg, though. His name's not been in the paper much lately. If it has, it's been Norman wasn't part of this. Norman wasn't part of this.
Hey,
he needed to get his name on a quote or two.
Hold on a second. 2 weeks tomorrow, he's going to be testifying before a Senate subcommittee. Hell, we know he's going to be there. Who appears in public first, Vladimir Putin or Jay Monahan? It's been 13 days, since Monahan took his medical leave. 13 days, nothing. Now, I hope he's not very ill here, but I mean, come on now. He's supposed 15 days. He's supposed to appear before a Senate subcommittee.
By the way, if he was very ill, wouldn't you think they would have told us more than it's just give us something?
Yes, I would hope so. Also, just to get some public sympathy on his behalf. He could use it right now. But that's all. Jay Monahan.
Monahan close.
Wow, you think Monahan appears before Putin? Really? No, I'm going Putin on this one. Come on. We got to see Putin by Wednesday at the latest. I think we got to see him by tomorrow. I mean, what the heck? And I mean Putin, not the lookalikes either. I mean the real dude.
Well, see, now you're asking for a lot. Because this is that movie Dave. He could be upstairs locked on life support right now without anything really working.
That's true. And we could have a couple of substitutes that are, one in Moscow, one in St. Petersburg. Absolutely. But that's our question of the day. Who are we going to see first, Monahan or Putin?
There's our poll question with about 10 minutes left in the show.
It's time for someone to take back this segment, if for no other reason than to stop David from talking about Meghan and Harry. Here's Mark Miller with Today Was the Day When.
We start in 1911. 19-year-old John McDermott becomes the first American-born U.S. Open champion. 1916. The Cleveland Indians experiment with numbers on jerseys in a game against the Chicago White Sox. First time Major League players identified by numbers. 1945, the United Nations Charter is signed by 50 nations in San Francisco. All presidents screw up. 1963, JFK in Berlin, trying to say I am a Berliner, actually said I am a donut.
Got a rousing ovation, though.
Of course it did. Elvis' last performance today in Indianapolis in 1977.
Didn't he die in August, though?
Yes, he did.
So he must have taken
could have been the end of the tour. I don't.
Yeah. Well, wasn't it he gonna play in 2 or 3 days? Wasn't he supposed to play in Long Island or someplace like that? 2-3 days after he died.
I'll take your word for it. I honestly don't know, but this was his last. What I have for you here that I know for a fact, it was his last performance of his career today in Indianapolis. 1981, Stripes premieres. 1991, Larry Johnson, first pick of the Charlotte Hornets.
Wait a minute. You did Stripes and you did not no reference, no line from that movie?
I just kind of stood still, let you have a couple. You got nothing for me. I moved on to the next one. Zip in, you zip out.
It's like going to Wisconsin.
96, Iverson, first pick by the Sixers.
I got the kicked out of me in Wisconsin once.
1997, the first book in the Harry Potter series is published. Today in 03, LeBron is drafted by the Cavs. 2014, Suarez is expelled from the World Cup following biting another player. Connor McDavid, first pick of the Edmonton Oilers today in 2015. And it was a year ago that the Avs in 6 take down the Lightning. Babe Saharis would have had a birthday today. Mick Jones from The Clash is 68. Chris Isaac is 67. Greg LeMond, 62. Shannon Sharp, 55. Chris O'Donnell, 53. Derek Jeter and my wife are both 49. Ed Jovanowski's 47. Michael Vick's 43. And Ariana Grande is 30.
Hold on a second. Does your wife know she shares the same birthday as Jeter? Because she's a big Jeter fan.
Yes, she
Oh,
does.
okay. Okay.
That's part of the whole thing.
Gotcha.
That's when she left her allegiance for the Pirates for the Yankees a long time ago, was for Derek Jeter.
Huh. Didn't have anything to do with them getting rid of Bonilla and Bonds, huh?
Honestly, it was Andy Van Slyke. That was her guy. When they got rid of Van Slyke, she swore off the Pirates.
Really?
Yeah.
They had by that point in time, they'd gotten rid of just about everybody.
Hey, I don't know what to tell you. She liked Van Slyke. Everybody's got their favorite player.
That's true. They make a dadgum good point. Well, I got one thing. All right. You know why we have all the interstates that we have? Okay. Today, 56 Eisenhower.
Ike.
Yeah. The Federal Highway Act. He dreamt about it, I should say, talked about it 2 years earlier. He said, yeah, we got to do something about this. We got to be able to get around better. 30 billion, by the way, in 1956. That's a lot of coin in 1956.
Haven't done anything with those roads ever since.
It's not true. They spent 15 years just on Orlando alone. And the Big Dig. Come on.
I'm just having a little fun.
They've completed 7 or 8 projects since then. 41,000 miles of interstate highways, by the way, from the Federal Highway Act of 56.
You've heard folks elsewhere mock Florida is gonna Florida. Well, Mark Miller sees it differently. He calls it the good, the bad, and the ugly. What you got, Mark?
We go to Las Vegas for the good, where Xavier Lewis, 23 years ago, was trapped inside his home as a 2-year-old. He was saved by Jeff O's. And 23 years later, he brought his 2-year-old son to meet the man that saved his life. Xavier is now a fireman just like Jeff, and that's obviously the reason he chose that career. Pretty cool picture of the 3 of them. For the bad, we go to Georgia in a Kroger store where a man trying to get away with a slip and fall is probably unhappy that there's video surveillance equipment inside the Kroger, because there was a spilled item that they could see the man lay himself down into, and then he said he fell and was trying to seek damages from the store. It didn't work so well for him. Finally, the ugly, we go to Daytona Beach, where William Hodge had enough of some people at a bar, and he was going to teach it a lesson when he tried to throw a live alligator that he had stolen from a miniature golf course onto the roof of a beachside cocktail lounge. The man took the alligator by the tail, hit it against the awning of a building, and then tried to throw it onto the roof of a bar. He stole it from the nearby Congo River golf course. He was arrested. And that is the good, the bad, and the ugly on today, June the 26th, 2023.
How big was this alligator?
Probably really small. It's like the Congo River. It's like the Congo River here. They're small. I mean, like a 2-3 footer.
Okay. Need some sort of strength to haul one of those big ones, though.
Did you see, and his name escapes me, it's the high-profile Miami sports agent?
Oh, Rosenhaus swimming with the shark?
Yeah, jumps in. They saw the shark. He jumps in, starts grabbing its tail.
Right.
What the heck?
Yeah, he could have easily been murdered in that situation.
56 years old. What, you trying to end things? Come on now. By the way, he was fishing with Tyreek Hill, his client. Yeah, they're just hanging out, spending some time on the boat together.
Was that when Tyreek came back and hit the guy in the marina?
No, I don't think so. I don't know, but I don't think so.
A lot of adrenaline after watching his agent manhandle a shark in the shark's environment. It's not like he was manhandling the shark on land. He was in the water doing it.
And did everybody see that gator video in South Carolina? The guy near the edge and the gator slowly making his way out of the water, chasing after the guy. Whoo-wee. Just get away.
It's their world.
Yes. And you're lucky enough to live in it. Get out of their way.
You're never going to win on the Gators turf. Come on now.
Unbelievable. There was somebody else that was like 20 feet away taking pictures on their phone. What, you don't know what a gator looks like? Anyway, ESPN tonight, 7 o'clock, Florida LSU, College Baseball World Series National Championship. We got 6 Major League Baseball games. That's it. Only 2 matchups of winning teams against one another, and one of them barely counts. It's the Twins and the Braves. Twins are a game over 500. But the Reds are in Baltimore. 2 young, exciting teams. For what it's worth, Baltimore, only 2 back of the Rays in the loss column, but they've played 5 fewer games than Tampa Bay. This is one of the 5, because the Rays aren't playing tonight, neither are the Marlins, that they have to make up. Rays have played 81 games, the Orioles just 76.
Means there'll probably be some double headers upcoming in Baltimore's future. Miller and Moulton. Reminder, we'll do it all over again tomorrow. And miss any of the show, go to all the usual spots to download the podcast. Thanks so much for listening right here on the Florida Sports Network.
David Moulton for Napa Auto Parts, and Napa Filters.